And we're back here once again with another episode of the Iron Man podcast, episode 507. It's going to be another rendition of Wednesday
Mhm.
Top G's. Now, we would have did this Sunday, but Professor Savage Dad's router went out because he apparently gave it meth. He didn't give his kids that because that's a Nick Rekieta thing, because Nick Rekieta's a terrible person. And yeah, his router died out. And so we were like, you know what? Let's just go and run it back Wednesday.
Turns out, bro,
Run it back.
bro, I found out the real truth, actually. Eric July gave my router meth. That's how that shit happened.
Oh, crap.
Eric July broke into my house, gave my router some meth.
Yeah.
Pet my cat, and then he stole all the milk out my fridge. Clicked out. Just boom. I was like, bruh. And he's like, what, bro? You want me to pull up? And I'm like, no, I just want you to bring my milk back.
We have some awesome things to let you guys know. So this week coming up, Deadpool, Wolverine, World War III, issue number 1. We'll review that. Then for the Wednesday and Sunday, then for the following Wednesday coming up next week, we'll review issue number 2. And we have some interesting writers that are going to be off, for comic books, actually. Yesterday, I have to tell you guys a story. So I literally went to go get something done with my hair. I had to go get it done. And then I ended up in another town.
You got your herded.
No. Actually, I got on the bus and I ended up in the other town next to my town. I was at a different bus station. So I went on there. I thought I was on the right bus. I fell asleep and I was like, okay, I'll wake up when they get to my spot because I can do that. And then I woke up and I was like, wait a minute, why am I in this town? I've been in that town before many times, but I was like, whoa, this is...
Did you get assaulted by bus station skanks? I have it on good authority. That part of California has lots of bus station skanks.
So I ended up calling my friend's sister. She ended up coming out. So we hung out for like an hour until she had to get back. We went to Barnes and Noble, and nice. I'm not gonna show you guys everything I got from the haul. There, Barnes and Noble now are getting like the newest Marvel graphic novels. The stuff that's not selling, what's crazy? I always assumed characters like Spider-Man and like Superman would sell pretty well. Spider-Man stuff, guys, was not selling at all. The new Amazing Spider-Man run, they had it in the newest trade paperbacks after Gang War and the new one that's coming up very soon for Zeb Wells' run. That stuff isn't selling. Nobody cares.
No, dude. Yeah. Nobody's cared about that. You know what the last time somebody really gave an honest half a fuck about Spider-Man was?
At least the main title, because Amazing Spider-Man?
Amazing Spider-Man, or the character Peter Parker, is part of the regular universe. And I was there for it. I was there for it when it was of interest at a level that Marvel would consider successful. Full screen mode. Oh, bro. That thing popped up. It was back when they did the first Superior Spider-Man and they made Doc Ock take over his body and shit. That was the last time that it did something different and creative. I didn't.
Oh yeah.
I didn't mind that.
Spider-Man.
But what's his name? I mean, it wasn't bad. It was an interesting take. Yeah, I mean, all of Dan Slott's run. I don't care how interesting that particular idea he had there was, which I'm pretty sure isn't terribly original, anyways. I'd have to think about it. And then they tried to fucking do the same shit with Iron Man. But
and then he came back to milk it. Remember, he came back to milk it. Yep. They did a Superior Spider-Man run, and it did not sell very well. It only sold well in issue 1 because ideas like that are just good in pockets. Like those are good. It's whatever one-off stories. You don't make entire runs out of them again. We saw that with Gotham by Gaslight. They tried doing a sequel series to that. That didn't really do very well either.
It just needed to be an Elseworlds, man. For fuck's sake. The movie wasn't bad, though. I didn't mind the movie, but
so Michael,
and it's what's the other thing they did? That's all Dan Slott really fucking did, though, man.
Hi, Chloe.
Seriously.
Oh,
I didn't know I was. Do I get to? Am I one now? I mean, aren't
you Puerto Rican or something? Then I guess you count as that.
I guess yeah. I can call me one too. I mean, I'm not Puerto Rican, but if she wants to call me one, I'll claim the card. I'm a little tan right now, I suppose. It's like 115 out where I live, so...
I'm 95.
You go outside. Yeah, fuck you. But yeah, the only thing that Dan Slott ever did that anybody ever... the only thing he'll ever be known for, that he'll be synonymous with, is putting Doc Ock's brain in Peter Parker's body, and that's it. That's all it is. And I'm sorry, but it was interesting, not good. Like, it went on a little too long. It was too much to try to unvilify Doc Ock when he was better as a maniacal villain. I'm sorry, he always was. This was done in the peak era of we're gonna humanize all our bad guys because our bad guys are just bad guys because of systemic something or other that made them like, no, they're fucking bad guys, and that's why we're reading the story. I don't need to feel sympathy for Doc Ock. He was a mad scientist who did some dumbass shit and got some fucking arms welded to his back. That's it. Done.
Well, the thing that makes the story stick is the ending of the story, where he realizes how much Peter Parker was pulling his punches on him throughout the entirety of their like back and forth. Those stories, the reason why they can hit is because of those moments that you finally get where the character realizes what they forgot to realize or didn't know. You can't turn that into an ongoing series because then all the mystery, all the flavor is just not there. It's just like, you know.
No, and that's what Dan Slott wanted. Again, this was another.
I think it's Spider Boy. Like, who's gonna want that? Like, that's not even a good idea. It sounds stupid.
It was stupid. This was another attempt by Marvel, because this is what Marvel is doing, and this is what they've been trying to do with Batman forever. They're huge IPs that are big, that are bigger than they are. Like, Spider-Man is bigger than Marvel. Like, kids know who Spider-Man is without knowing that Marvel Comics even fucking exists. Kids know who Batman is without even knowing that DC Comics exists. Like, there are people out there that know of Batman that literally know nothing else.
Mm-hmm.
And so they know this, and what they want to do is dilute who that character is down.
Mm-hmm.
So they'll brain swap them, they'll race swap. They'll not necessarily race swap them. They would like to race swap them, but they want to make that character so diluted that they can make anybody that character, or anything that character, and say that that's what that character is. Like, I've had this strong stance on the idea that Peter Parker and Peter Parker's Spider-Man are by far, by its parent company, the most hated character that of any IP that has ever existed in history, by a parent company. There is no parent company that's ever hated more the character hated an IP more than Marvel and Disney hate the character Peter Parker. They hate him.
It's crazy.
Dude, it's insane.
So bad how much they don't like him. That's why I knew
on him at every turn, dude.
Yeah. That's why I knew that Jonathan Hickman coming in was going to do good by Spider-Man, because based off the very first thing he announced he was going to do with them. And keep in mind, guys, Jonathan Hickman has amassed a huge fan base, obviously because he's worked for the big guys, mostly Marvel. And he just announced on Twitter that he was going to give Peter Parker a married life with kids. That enough? Usually with tweets, they always go very divisive. But with that one, I remember when that information came out, and it was just the overwhelming positivity of love that people were like, finally, he's given us something that we want. And then the sales for that book, guys, they are on the 7th reprint for Ultimate Spider-Man #1. The trade's coming out very soon. Ultimate Spider-Man #6 dropped last week. It was also revealed that Ultimate Spider-Man #6 outsold the newest Amazing Spider-Man by Zeb Wells. I don't even understand why Zeb Wells and Tom King, how have they gotten this much work? That is the literal definition of failing upwards. The only reason why they have sales is because they're on characters like Spider-Man and Batman. You know how they had that Looney Tune writing on Hot Girl? Well, credit to that person. I don't like Troons, but I understand it's hard to make a character like Hot Girl appealing to people without Hawkman, if that's what the DC editorial is saying to do. Now, I'm not saying that he didn't like gay up Hot Girl, whatever. I'm saying that, but you know what I'm trying to say. It's really hard if I were to go to a really bad sports team and try to make that team good, you know, like without any star players.
Yep.
He had to essentially go to Hot Girl and kind of make her a mainstay character. I want to see Tom King write for, I don't know, let's say Martian Manhunter. Let's see if he gets any recognition for that.
Yeah.
I want to see Zeb. Let's see Zeb Wells write for, I don't know. Let him write for Carnage. No, he's already did too much Spider-Man stuff. He's already done enough damage to that. Let's see
Squirrel Girl.
Let's see Zeb Wells write for. Now, Storm's too popular for him. I'll just say this then. Let him write for a buttfuck nobody character. Ghost Rider. I know people like outside of the Nicolas Cage movies, nobody really likes Ghost Rider like that. Have him write for Ghost Rider. Oh wait, it won't matter because he's not a character no one cares about. These guys, literally the only reason why they're known is because they wrote horrible stories on known characters. No one would care if he was writing on Ghost Rider, Black Cat, fucking Mary Jane, who's Jackpot now. Oh, I need to show you this, man. Jackpot and Black Cat, that 4-issue little mini series that just concluded today. Yeah. I want to show you how the user ratings on that. This is horrible. This is really bad. I'll show you right now. There was a lot of stuff coming out this week, guys. So I actually have to get a lot of stuff this week. So be on the lookout for that.
What you were saying, dude. Do you know why? Or else, like you made a very good point there. But this is kind of like what goes back to what I was saying. Zeb Wells is popular because he wrote Spider-Man, not because of what he wrote or how he wrote Spider-Man. Yeah. It's because Spider-Man is bigger than him. And this is the problem that all of these writers and artists have, is that these characters that they're coming in to write will always be bigger than them, unless you put somebody huge on them. Like I don't mind the move they're making, but I haven't been sold by this first issue enough to say, oh my God, Joe Kelly's back. Joe Kelly was one of my favorite writers back in the day on X-Men, on his run on Deadpool. That was a great run that defined a character that Marvel then ruined. When not completely after he left, Gail Simone had a good run. I will always give her credit. She had a good run on Deadpool. It was not bad. I appreciated the run she did. This was when she had talent. She even had some good Birds of Prey issues and shit, when her and Chuck Dixon actually kind of worked with one another in that realm of the DCU. But this hasn't convinced me that like Joe Kelly is who he was. It convinces me that they've convinced Joe Kelly to come back and get a paycheck for it. I'm gonna read it. I'm gonna get issue 3 and see how it does. But I appreciated the work he had done in the past on Spider-Man, though. It wasn't bad. Damn.
This is awful. This is bad. No one even bothered giving it a star. No one bothered even giving it half a star. 1.6 average rating. That's awful, people.
Who wrote this?
That's really bad. Who wrote this? Writer. Yeah, woman mix. Oh, you gotta have a woman on a woman project because wham.
Look at him. Bring up. Can you full screen the cover? Go back to the cover.
Yeah,
I can make some assessments.
The cover doesn't look that bad.
Bring that cover up. Yeah, but they don't. Neither of them. I mean, other than the long hair, they don't look terribly feminine. Like they're not really giving me much.
Maybe it's the variant covers looks better on the other ones, actually. Oh, what is this? This doesn't count. What is that?
Who drew that? Their kid?
That was EBS.
They spent money to get that produced, though.
They spent money
on
that.
Their 10-year-old child like 10 grand for that.
This is a variant cover, people. That's a variant cover.
Are any of them like even okay? That's a little better looking there.
Like that was the cover. That was issue 3.
Okay, they both got an ass on them there, so that's not bad.
This is just awful.
Like at least
look at this.
At least put a booty on them.
This is just really. This is disgusting. This is bad.
Mary Jane.
No.
Black Cat, and I'm assuming whoever Black Panther is now.
No, her name was Bandwidth.
Bro, you give me some shit for not picking up floppies, and then you look at shit like that, and you like think,
"Hey man, you gotta go through shit to know what shit is." Just saying.
Ugh, dude, I don't need to do it all the time. I've seen plenty of shit from comics. As long as I read it, I just knew when to give up. But check it out.
Yes, that's cool. I like that as an idea. Is that going to be an actual comic? I'll pick that up. That's cool.
No, dude. It's literally this is the front. This is the back. You want the purple M&M?
That'd be so cool.
It's pretty cool. That's a cool ad, though. I'll give
that
them
would sell them books.
So,
that's
part of the
cool,
book
like
right
one
there.
shot to sell.
Oh, check this. Check who's writing this. Oh, damn, bro.
What?
Oh, damn. I'm gonna get that trade. Is that dropping as a? Oh no, here you go. Here, hold on.
That?
Why the fuck am I'm fucking this up this way? I'm retarded. Hold on.
Some
There we
bitch.
go. No, I'm just doing. I have the equipment to do this correctly, and I'm doing it like a retard. Check this out. Boom. You see that?
Alien versus Avengers. Yeah, I remember they
Dude,
announced it.
check
Yeah,
who's
I'm
writing it
grabbing that.
though.
Yeah, Jonathan Hickman's
Check that.
writing it. Yeah.
That's pretty cool. And also, this guy's art right here. If Assad Ribic is who I remember, he's pretty decent. So I might
I'm
be
picking
down
that up
for
for
all
sure.
that.
Yeah, I'm grabbing that for
That
sure.
sounds good.
That's a good
Let's see
idea.
here. Do we got any?
Yeah.
No, it's not a bad idea. Oh, this also like this. I'm like, I don't know, bro. We're gonna bring it back
No,
again.
I don't
Do this
really
again.
I don't trust them on anything X-Force or X-Men related.
No.
I heard that
Seriously.
Avengers that no. Well, I'll just say X-Men because like group projects for them have been very so-so. Anything with X-Men or X-Force, I told people I don't really grab unless it's
No.
X-Men the animated series stuff that's adaptations. Then I grab that because they did very good.
I'm
stuff
sorry,
on that.
but Deadpool can work in a team up, not in a team book.
Yeah, if he's the leader of your team,
Guest appearance maybe.
I don't know.
I don't think he's going to be the leader, but he just doesn't. I'm sorry, he doesn't work in a team book.
Oh, when I was at
Barnes
Noble, when I was at Barnes and Noble, yesterday they had that Deadpool book that you have, the one where he's standing like this all by himself, and it retails for like $44.99. It's the one you showed. I think it's by Joe Kelly too. Honestly, not the omnibus.
Wait,
I think that's collected in that omnibus. Actually, you have it. It's a thick. It looks like an epic collection like this. It looks like something like that.
Do I have another Deadpool like that? Let me see. I think I've only got one giant ass Deadpool book.
Yeah, I think they had that in Epic Collection run yesterday. Chloe says something Eric July ends up saying a lot is that a lot of these creatives are learning the hard way that they're not the draw. They don't have the audience they think they do. Yeah, that's true as well. If Zeb Wells and Tom King do anything else, they're fucking no one's gonna care.
No, because those they don't. Moreover, those guys don't deserve the characters they're writing. I don't know who they blew to get those jobs. They don't deserve them.
Yeah,
those characters.
They had that in Epic Collection. A part of that run, actually.
Yeah, it's probably a chunk of it because this is the Joe Kelly whole.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, because I remember you showed me that, and I was like, "Wait a minute, they have that in Epic Collection? Is that worth getting at least half the run to kind of test the waters for a person that's not really? I'm not really into Deadpool. I don't really like gags and jokes like that generally. It's not my genre of comic I usually like.
I don't think it was quite as much gags and jokes, but it was a lot it was darker, and it was not like this soft, dark jokes that they try to fucking do that's overly marvelized. It was honestly dark. It was fucked up.
Yeah.
Some of it was it was definitely a bit of a fucked up character. He had some character growth during the run. There was weird kind of crazy shit that Joe did with him, especially when you got later on in the run there. But it wasn't it was pretty decent because again, there were dark parts to it. There was weird kind of a misunderstanding parts to it. You get kind of the background of basically Death being horny for Deadpool ostensibly. She's all about the Deadpool. But it was a good run. There were funny parts. There was comedy. Obviously, the character is somewhat comedic, and it was Joe Kelly who really made him that way. Joe Kelly is the one who wrote him that way. I always said that Joe Kelly's humor that he had in Deadpool would have played so fucking well in Spider-Man, and he did have a chance because eventually, another person who has literally meant absolutely nothing since he left the character, Dan Slott, other than how much people dislike how much he fucked up the character's whole canon.
Dude, do you remember that nuclear thread he had last year? Where he said, oh my god, these were so nuclear level, you would probably go get out of your break just to make a video about it. They're that bad. Do you remember them? They were awful. I can't read them anymore. They're just so bad my brain actually lost cells reading that shit. He basically said, well, if they do a different version of the character in the comic books, that's not what you remember. Well, that's just them exploring the characters and doing something different. It's like, what the fuck? He said some of the absolute dumbest things that I think I've ever seen a creative say. These people are so far beyond removed from reality, they generally think their opinions mean anything. It's like, Dan, just shut up and just write comics. I don't want to hear your opinion on anything. Just no.
No, I don't think that.
So the L's were massive.
They think that because they wrote these characters that they were ever credentialed for them. And I mean, Mark Millar has been very good at kind of pointing this out without saying it. He's like, you need to get good writers back on these characters.
Yeah.
Writers with names and shit. And you know who, and I'll tell you who he's calling out. He's calling out the Tom King Batmans, the Zeb Wells, and the Dan Slotts on Spider-Man because they sucked. And nobody cared about these writers. They weren't good.
Yeah.
Like these guys literally got those jobs because they had to have blown somebody because they did nothing of note before. Like where was their fucking
they probably didn't step on anybody's toes. That's probably what it was. That's what it really looks like. They don't step on anyone's toes. They're like the guys that kind of just go with whatever, so they just get the job, you know? Or they don't or they have the right talking points like Mark Waid, you know?
They're just corporate cocksucking chills. Well, dude, another person. What was Mark Waid before Kingdom Come? Like, really, what in the fuck was he?
What was he in that after part, after Tower of Babel? Like, after the 2010s, didn't he just have a meltdown about comic shop owners not hiring his girlfriend or something? I don't even remember what it was, honestly, you know?
Dude, I remember an era.
He tried to get into the indie scene. Remember that? He tried to get to the indie scene, and people saw him for who he really was, and he had a complete mental breakdown to the point where he was begging DC to take him back. Now, granted, they took him back. He did good on Shazam, and he did good on World's Finest to get put back on the DC main event they're going to have. I don't like the guy, but I do congratulate him on his work ethic on writing good comics to sell to the shores. That's fine. But he was not someone that was a draw when he was like in the indie scene for a bit when he wasn't getting work. He wasn't a draw. The only books people remembered him from was Tower of Babel, his Daredevil run, and the Kingdom Come run that he did. That was it.
The Daredevil run was okay. I got tired of it after a while, but it wasn't bad. Like I can't shit on the Daredevil. What's up, buddy? Run. But it's just like I always say about Mark Waid, dude. It's like what great work has he done? He's done a lot of middling work. He's done a lot of okay work, but he hasn't done anything truly great. He hasn't really truly, other than Kingdom Come, and Tower of Babel. Those are two great things.
The last thing he did good was the concept that like he really put it in people's head about Batman having those contingency plans and shit. That was his.
Yeah, Tower of Babel was a very good story and a very big story.
What broken cock is right once a decade.
So I'll give him Tower of Babel more than I'll give him Kingdom Come any days because what sold Kingdom Come was Alex Ross.
It always
Alex Ross's art. It was Alex Ross's push for that story and that classic, like just GOAT artwork. I mean, there is nobody who does a style like Alex Ross today, and there never will be again because most artists are too fucking lazy, or moreover, most of them are too reliant on computer generated shit as opposed to doing some real sketching. And I'm not talking that like you can't that they have to do it with the pencil. Like, you know, it just doesn't. Nobody can look like he looks. Nobody can make lines like Alex Ross did, or art, or iconic, you know, huge visionary photos. Like you want to get into like some great Alex Ross shit. I don't know if I've ever shown you this, but he did a few of these, and I never picked them up. Or I never picked up the other ones, but I did get this one. This one was fucking epic. I don't even have enough camera to put this thing up here. Let me see.
Got a paperback or a hardcover?
No, it's a TPB. Like it's not huge, but it was called Peace on Earth, and it was this big, huge, like tabloid or whatever you want to call it, like massive poster book size shit, dude. Get in there.
Oh, it's great. Ooh.
Oh, dude, the art like his Superman is. I don't know if there's anybody else, but it's got like this story about like Superman himself who inspires us all. It's got all of these like just general great acts like that Superman's doing. Like this one, I mean, everybody's seen this right here. Everybody's seen this particular image of Superman, you know, flying the Christmas tree in and shit. Like a lot of people have seen that around. Where's my mouse at? This would be easier if I went wide. There we go.
I'm trying to figure out who else they fired because I know they got rid of Zeb Wells. I heard Tom King is on the hook, and then I remember
apparently somebody's going to start taking over DC.
Apparently, someone wants to start making money. It's crazy that when you want to start making money, then you'll start doing it. Apparently,
DC's
the
doing
numbers, dude. The numbers are probably so fucking bad. They're like, you know what? We actually got to make some money.
well, DC's going to be launching their once again their take on an Ultimate Universe. So they're doing their own basically alternate line of comics that's based, and they're just saying that this is going to be what Marvel is doing. Is it Joshua Williamson?
Joshua Williamson,
it was someone else.
He was doing a lot for DC. He was doing the Batman runs. He was doing, Batman and Robin. He was doing Green Arrow. He was doing a lot of other stuff for them. He did Night Terrors, which, fucking failed. But even the best writers that they have, which are like basically B, C list at best, they overload them with so much work that they, you might be making some good money when you get like 3 or 4 fucking characters you're writing for, but that's gonna be too much for a person to handle. No way your creative mind can flow through all those characters. That's why I think Jonathan Hickman is gonna end up getting burnt out later on. He's doing Marvel Gods. I don't know how long that's gonna keep going on. He's gonna do Avengers versus Aliens. You said he's doing an Ultimate Spider-Man. He's gonna end up doing. I'm pretty sure. Oh my god, he's doing that new Wolverine miniseries coming up next month to celebrate the character's 50th anniversary. Yeah, he's gonna get burnt out. They're gonna burn this guy out. The only last good guy they have. You're gonna burn him out.
Like, he's been in the game a minute though. I think he'll be all right. Like, he's written a lot of shit, but he probably, if they're all miniseries, it's probably just him like trying to load up on some cash. And
that's all they can sell is miniseries. They can't sell ongoing long series. Everything is a miniseries that gets end up basically back to a number one. It's a miniseries for 4 issues, 3 issues, like with the Deadpool one, just to reboot back to number one, just so you can get a spike in sales. It's Marvel.
No, I'm telling you, dude.
So bad at this.
The Joe Kelly run. Like, I remember when he got on X-Men and he got in at Marvel and he made some money. He ran on X-Men for a minute after Deadpool. Then he noped out of comics altogether, started a cartoon studio, created Ben 10, and he's probably got fuck you money. I mean, he did Big Hero. His company did Big Hero 6 for Disney.
He's probably still getting royalties from Warner Brothers for Ben 10. Ben 10 was huge.
It was.
Wait, how much involvement did he have on the sequel series? Actually,
I think it was still run by his company. What was the name of his animation studio?
Yeah, I never got into Ben 10.
It's owned by them. They created it.
Okay. Yeah, I never got into Ben 10 like that. I thought it just wasn't my cup of tea. But a lot of people apparently did like it. I remember how huge it was. Actually,
it was big, dude. I was too old at the time. Man of Action. So Man of Action. Let's see. Can I find them? I don't need just Ben 10. Do we have something for Man of Action? This was the name of the production studio. It was called Man of Action. Oh, here we go. It's got a list in here. God damn. Oh no, these are actors. Where is Man of Action? Go to the top. Ben 10 TV series. Oh, there we go. Man of Action. All right, Man of Action. Known as Man of Action Studio. So they were their own production studio. They did Ben 10, Generator Rex, which nobody saw. It was a small thing. Goramidi Nature Unleashed. Never even heard of that. So there was a few big guys in this one. Duncan Rolayu, whatever. He did Alpha Flight for a minute. Joe Casey, who I think is still around in the game, kind of low key. Joe Kelly. And Stephen T. Seagal, who did X-Men and Alpha Flight. These dudes must have they all worked on this stuff at the same time. I'm assuming they got together at Marvel. They just worked well together. They're out in Glendale, California. So they're out in LA and shit. They were founded like 24 years ago too, bro. So like they were out for a minute. But yeah, they did do the new one as well. The new one went from 2013 to 2021. Or no. It went from 2005 to 2021. Fuck. Ooh, yeah, he's got fuck you money. He absolutely has fuck you money. So that could be good, and that could be good. If he spent his money poorly, he's back at Marvel to get a paycheck. If he spent his money wisely, he's back at Marvel because
he could be in the Mark Miller thing.
He can do what he wants.
He could be on the Mark Miller side of things, where he's made so much money with other creative endeavors outside of comics that he's just doing it just because he likes doing it. Yeah. That's what Mark Miller does. Mark Miller doesn't even have to do comics. He's so filthy rich that he could literally never do a comic in his life ever again.
Oh yeah, and see, they were see. This is the thing. Man of Action was actually did some other good shit too. Nobody really saw Generator Rex. It was on for like 3 years. But do you remember the Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes Avengers cartoon?
Yes.
Not the ultimate.
This one on Disney XD.
Yeah, the first one though, not the next one that came out after the
Yeah,
Avengers
yeah. It
movie
was
dropped.
when
The first one.
they tried capturing on the Avengers hype when the movie dropped. I remember that. Yeah,
Yeah,
it
that
was
was
when
the
they
one
had.
that came after. I'm talking about the one they
Yeah.
ran for 2 years before it. The good one.
Oh.
That one was really good because it was a lot like Justice League. It was basically the
Okay.
Justice League Avengers, but done in the style of like Justice League. So
Yeah.
they'd have like different characters rotating in and shit for
Hmm.
stories. That one came first. It had a very different animation
Hmm.
style. They did that one. They also did Ultimate Spider-Man on Disney XD, which was pretty good too. That I didn't mind that series. That was all right. All of Disney XD fell off because Disney doesn't do shit with their cartoons anymore.
It was a good idea. They just ran that idea into the ground. It was
Oh,
such a good
they did
idea.
do they did do Avengers Assembled as well. They also did the Mega Man cartoon, Mega Man
Mhm.
Fully Charged for Capcom and Cartoon Network. I heard that one was good. Again, they had some really good stuff. Oh wow, they're doing Sonic Prime right now. So they're still making cash. Yeah, he has fuck you money. So what that
Yeah.
means is
He's
I'm
not writing
hoping what
comics as
that
he need
means
money.
is
No way.
no, he's not back to write it for money. He's back because
Mhm.
Marvel told him. I'm hoping. God only fucking knows, and the proof won't. We won't
Mhm.
know if that's the case for like
Yeah.
6 fucking months. It's gonna be like the first. You're gonna have a first issue. It's gonna have a first issue. Hopefully, it's good. Maybe he really comes out, makes a good bang, does something fun, makes Spider-Man effervescent and entertaining and exciting again, as opposed to just all of this shit. I would love to see him just basically say fuck you to Brand New Day and put him and Mary Jane back together, which now that Ultimate is outselling fucking amazing, I think
Mhm.
Marvel has a serious financial reason to basically decanonize Dan Slott's shit ass fucking Brand New Day story or One More Day story or whatever. All of it, all the shit that happened then. Decanonize that shit. Joe Kelly, if you see this, you can do this. You can make Spider-Man great again. You can. I know you have it within you. Now I haven't finished the Deadpool thing, and the first issue didn't light a fire under me like the first issue of Deadpool did way back in the days when I was
Mhm.
first getting into comics and shit, or like your first go at X-Men did. I loved the hell out of your X-Men. Um no, you have like if you have full career because he didn't have that. They
Mhm.
brought him in back in the day when Dan Slott's run was going on to basically give Dan Slott occasional breaks. They brought him in and another writer that I don't remember. There's like two or three writers, and this was for a minute. It wasn't for very long. And then Dan Slott basically was all there was again.
Mhm.
So I lay all the blame for not all of the blame. I mean, the real blame is with Marvel. Marvel hates Peter Parker. Marvel has done everything they can to dilute the Spider-Man brand to the point that they could say anybody's Spider-Man. That's what they're aiming for. But eventually being able to say, well, we've had so many other Spider-Men and women throughout for 20 years now that it doesn't have to be Peter Parker anymore. No, it
Mhm.
does. Peter Parker is Spider-Man, period. But that's
Yeah,
what their aim has been.
I was reading a comment on Spectacular Spider-Man. Remember they were trying to do that like dynamic duo between Batman and Robin
Oh
for Peter
yeah.
and Miles as a comic series. Guys, that's not selling. Actually, I was reading the
No.
comments and someone had said that the writer was didn't even read the Miles Morales stories because let's be honest, you guys, no one reads solo Miles Morales stuff. People only know him from the animated series, and that's what the guy mentioned. He clearly made this statement where in his review of the book where it sounded like the writer of that Spider-Man book right now only saw the movies and it's never read an actual Miles Morales comic because newsflash
Probably.
guys, no one really has.
No, well, see, this is the thing. He had fans and got read back in the day when he was Ultimate Spider-Man in
Mm-hmm.
an alternate universe. His book sold. That's why he stuck around for as long as he did back then. The
Mm-hmm.
book sold, but that's because they focused on the character being the character and not trying to shoehorn him into Peter Parker's costume, which is what Marvel has been doing ever since that they got the directive from Disney to bring him into the regular continuity.
Mm-hmm.
That's all they've done with him is constantly try to shoehorn him into Peter Parker's costume, into Peter Parker's superhero name.
Mm-hmm.
He's not Spider-Man, and he never will be. He'll never be successful at it. They've
He's
tried to dilute it, just like they did.
He's not. He's not interesting. There's nothing interesting
He
about him being
could be,
Spider-Man.
though. He
Like
could not being
the only
Spider-Man.
dynamic he has is that he has parents, and obviously that right there could be something where you could make that an interesting dynamic.
They don't investigate it. No, dude, there's so much potential for him. I believe it.
Because the difference between him and Peter is Peter never grew up with actual parents. He doesn't know how that is. That could be something where you could actually lean towards that on as a crutch, like it did in the Into the Spider-Verse movie. They did that in the movies very well. Just take from what the movies did well and apply that to him. They don't. Miles Morales is an uninteresting character. He copies all his villains from everything he gets is literally from Peter Parker. Like there's nothing about him.
You know that what they're doing because they don't even give him his own villains. He has all of Peter Parker's villains. No, because they want him to be Spider-Man. They want to kill Peter Parker and make him Spider-Man. Now, if Joe Kelly comes in and he's just taking the money from Marvel and Marvel's going to keep doing what they're doing, Joe Kelly will come in and eventually kill him. They will kill Spider-Man and they'll have Joe Kelly do it, which will be sad and it'll shit on his legacy, but they'll kill him and they'll put Miles Morales in. Now that's if Joe sticks around for a while. It's going to take them another 5 years, but they're going to continue to work on diluting Spider-Man until then. All they've done with Spider-Man is emasculate him, destroy his character, destroy his energy, his fun. They shit all over his masculinity constantly. They shit all over his marriage. They killed his baby that he never even knew he had. Like this shit that they started with him started in like the late fucking 90s, early 2000s during the end of the Clone Saga, when they basically had the Green Goblin off screen abort his baby and then kidnap it or kill it.
So Walter
Terry McGinnis Batman?
Yes.
In the future,
he's a version of he is what you would consider doing that the right way.
Terry McGinnis is Batman in the same sense that Miguel O'Hara is Spider-Man in 2099.
Yeah. They also did that very well. You know who Miguel O'Hara was. He's a different Spider-Man in a different timeline with his own shit, you know?
That's exactly the same thing. Terry McGinnis was his own fucking Batman with his own fucking villains and his own fucking plights and his own characterization. They just want fucking Miles Morales to be Peter Parker. That's what they want. And I'm sorry, he can't be a little Jewish kid from Queens. It's not going to happen.
At least Terry is even for just going off the animated series. I have not read that much beyond comic books. Terry is interesting. The first episode, they literally make sure that you know that that's Bruce and this is the new guy.
Yep.
It's not even close.
They did this in the original Ultimate Spider-Man. Back in the Ultimate Universe, they made that characterization very distinct, and they made Miles his own character. He even had some of his own villains. Like they weren't all just Spider-Man ripoff villains. He did have other villains and he did other shit. Ultimate Spider-Man Miles Morales was peak Miles Morales. He peaked before that universe died. That his own character died with the rest of the Ultimate Universe. He doesn't get to be himself anymore. He gets to be a Peter Parker allegory, a Spider-Man allegory, everything they can do to basically have him step into Spider-Man's leotard and wear it. That's what they've been trying to do. And moreover, they want to dilute everything that Spider-Man is with the Spider-Verse shit. And I felt the same way about like how they were doing with Batman and the Bat Family shit. It's like you got too many fucking characters here, all right? Step it back. I don't need 35 different Robins being every other fucking random version of a bird name that you can come up with. Like just Batman and Robin, be done with it. I don't need the extra. Go make an original character.
Before we get to the Eric July topic, because that was what we're going to be doing today as the main course meal of the show.
We're going to get into
it. Marvel Comics announces Moon Knight: Fist of Khonshu, a continuation to writer Jed MacKay and artist Alejandro.
I don't know who either of those people are. The art looks okay, though, I guess.
Capuccio and colorist Rachel Rosenberg's 3-year run of the character. This series will see the return of Mark Spector wearing a new costume designed by Capuccio. So it's basically just a redo number 1 to spike the numbers.
Yep.
No one.
I don't know who those creators are at all. The art isn't. It looks okay. It's all right.
I've
But
heard of
yeah,
Jed McKay before.
that doesn't excite me.
Uh,
Moon Knight
yeah, none
is.
of this stuff sounds interesting.
No, I'm sorry. You're
I
not
never really
getting
got
me
behind Moon
with
Knight,
Moon Knight.
honestly. It's a cool concept. I've never got behind the character, really,
I read
honestly.
it. I've never seen it. Dude, there's so many cool concepts that don't always get executed very well. I mean, look at Ghost Rider. Ghost Rider's a
Yeah.
great fucking concept. He's never been executed. Like, there have been times that he's been executed very well, and those runs are very memorable. But the large part, it's just people failing to really execute on that because the publisher put the wrong writer behind the character, and that just didn't get it. And this is the thing that they're so bad at these days, because they don't care. They're putting cronies on shit. Zeb Wells and Tom King writing these fucking characters they don't deserve. And I'm sorry, but Brian Michael Bendis on Superman, fuck that guy. Fuck what he did with Superman. Fuck
You know
him
what's
being
crazy
there
is
for
that
the 1000th issue of it.
after they got rid of Michael Bendis doing Superman, the sales increased. It's crazy what can happen to a character's book sales when you get rid of a shit writer.
Like, seriously, where the fuck even is that guy? He was Marvel's Jeff Johns back in the day. He carried them through the early 2000s. He had so much to contribute with shit. But I want to tell you right now that most of it was bullshit because all he did was make events out of old stories that already existed. House of M was simply a combination of the Scarlet Witch going crazy, which had already happened once or twice before in the Avengers, and kind of Extinction Agenda. That's all it was. Like sit there and look at it. All he did was mash those two stories together, and fine, whatever. But still, it wasn't original. All he did was a fanfic mashup of two other stories, and a lot of the other stuff that he did could be redounded to that. Really, I mean, it was, I'd say the same thing about Jeff Johns, though. I will give Jeff Johns what he did in Blackest Night was one of the greatest Green Lantern epics ever. And it was epic. It was a Green Lantern crossover with the weight and scale of a full universe crossover. And it did hit lots of other parts of the universe. But Blackest Night was fantastic. Brightest Day, I don't remember if I finished Brightest Day, but Blackest Night was a fantastic fucking story. That was really well done. Definitely peak Green Lantern as far as I was concerned. The only thing let's see, say.
I said, my point is,
How is
he Batman any more than Miles Morales to Spider-Man? Well, it's not because of it's basically how they utilized and made the characters different from the originals. They don't really make Miles Morales that much different from Peter. He's not interesting.
No, he used to be, and he isn't anymore. And frankly, since they moved, and this is the point is that they moved him into regular continuity where there's already a Spider-Man. Hell, there's two Spider-Men. There's one in 2099 as well in the future. So where does he have a place, and why does he get the leftovers of some Jewish kid from Queens? Miles is a perfectly good character that they could do something with if they cared more about him than being a replacement for Peter Parker when they kill Peter Parker. If they actually gave him his own name and let him have his own villains, and they don't give him his own shit. They just give him the scraps that Peter Parker currently isn't playing with at the time. It doesn't. It's not fair to what the character once was, because the character once did have his own thing. And I'm not saying that he's never been a Spider-Man. He was Ultimate Spider-Man. That's what he was named. That's what he was called.
He's a
all
lesser
toys
version.
were marketed under.
Yeah, he's a lesser version of Spider-Man. He's not the Spider-Man. I'm just saying, even in marketing, I always call him Miles Morales anyway. I don't understand the love for this character. It's only just because of movies. Now, the movies are great. I like the movies. I really do. But outside of the movies, like, it's not that interesting. He's not that good a Spider-Man, honestly. I don't know. I don't know how this character has so much love. It blows my mind.
Well, this is the thing. It's further diluting the IP is the problem, because there's already a Spider-Man in this continuity, in this timeline. Terry McGinnis didn't exist in continuity in Bruce Wayne's timeline. Now, and this is a simple time travel thing, that Bruce was literally so old in the future. There's no fucking way he could be Batman anymore, and the mantle got passed on.
That makes sense, though. That makes sense that he would age because he's a human, and there'd be another person that could take over. That makes sense. Also,
it would make
they didn't
sense
trounce on him. They didn't just randomly kill him off and go, "Hey, you're Batman now," because reasons.
Yeah,
it was a natural thing that happened.
it would make sense if Peter Parker was so fucking old that he looked like Joe Biden and was as incoherent as him and just wandered around like shooting webs everywhere. And little Miles comes in and says, "Hey, old man, how about I do this for you now?" Then you know what? People would probably accept it. You want to tell that story, that's fine, but that's going to be a future-based story, and it's already too late because Miles is here. I mean, you know, and again, in the Ultimate Universe, it worked because Peter Parker died, and Miles came in to take over. Here, now there's just two Spider-Men. And that doesn't make any sense. It just dilutes the name, it dilutes the brand altogether to have like all these other Spider-Men out there. I don't even like the Spider-Verse crap. It's more multiverse garbage meant to you'd think
Keep
sell
in mind,
toys, but it
people didn't
doesn't
like the
sell
Clone
toys.
Saga.
It doesn't even
I didn't
sell
go through the
comics.
story because I couldn't afford comics. I had to kind of read the stuff online. For what I read online about people didn't even like the Clone Saga Spider-Man stuff of Ben Reilly.
People hated the Clone Saga stuff. I liked the concept of Ben Reilly. It's the fact that Marvel carried that shit on for fucking years. I mean, that's what this is. In all honesty, if you want to talk about eras of Spider-Man, what we're dealing with right now since the last oh hell, what the Secret Wars, since the second Secret Wars, because these motherfuckers at Marvel can't just like they can't even make up original events anymore. But after they did that and they brought him into the regular universe, they basically started a what isn't a clone saga, but it reeks of what the Clone Saga was. The constant confusion and obfuscation of who was Spider-Man that was never really captured or written well. Rare occasions. But you know what they did with him? You know what made sense? What made it interesting, at least for a period of time before they decided to re-engage the clone shit? Is they made him the Scarlet Spider, and he kind of went off and was doing a bit of his own thing. I don't think they really knew what to do with him very well, but he had his own very distinct costume. He had his own look, his own kind of attitude. He was a little bit more rough and tumble, kind of, than Peter Parker, but it was better. Was it perfect? No, but it was better. I loved the Scarlet Spider's costume and character. I liked that they made him blonde and called him Ben Reilly and tried to really separate him from Peter Parker. And they're
Hello,
not
Brian. How you doing, man?
It's like, could you at least do that? Could you at least give Miles Morales his own superhero name? Make him his own character, for fuck's sake? Like, at least a little bit. At least a little bit. Have him not constantly
Yeah,
just having to
let's
get
be
the
honest here.
scraps and
What
leftovers
makes
from
him
Peter Parker
Yeah,
while
because
borrowing his name.
even in like how they did it in the first Into the Spider-Verse movie. You know how like they killed that Peter off, and then they kind of had Peter B. Parker. That kind of seemed
That
really
was
tough.
weird.
But they had him mentor him. That was what,
Yeah.
but they didn't kill off the Peter B. Parker. The only bad thing that they did in
No,
the
they sent him
second
back.
movie was that they relegated the Peter B. Parker to being like this relegated character. That's how you would do that. You know? Like, and there's nothing about Miles that makes him interesting. I just don't really find him all that interesting. In comic wise, you know, movie wise, he's fine. Game wise, I haven't played that video game yet, so I don't know. Or oh fucking hell, how they did it in the Insomniac the first Peter Parker Spider-Man game. And he's just an added-on character that helps out with the plot. He's not taking it over. He's just there, but he's an important, nice key piece. That's how you introduce those characters.
Yeah.
Like the Teen Titans, like the Teen Titans right now with comic books. Teen Titans should never be the flagship leading team for DC Comics. Remember, I'm not shitting people. They've canceled Justice League to have Teen Titans as the flagship premier group. Teen Titans have never been the flagship premier group ever.
I don't care about that much about Titans, but I really don't care about Justice League either, not what it had become. Justice League kind of peaked, I think, around the Identity Crisis story, but like that, what Grant Morrison and Howard Porter had done when they relaunched it after they spent most of the 80s basically running B leagues, B level at best characters through the Justice League, and they brought back the Big Seven. That fucking hit, dude. That thumped. And you had a big name. You had Grant Morrison, who had proved himself under a number of other things on a pretty big book. Justice League was huge when that shit dropped, and people got a load of New World Order. People were sold. People were in. They were like, oh my God, the art is good. You've got all the big characters that I want. They're here. It's like a crossover book every week, but here they all are, written by a big name. And it's like, dude, that's what you need with like Spider-Man. That's what you need with Avengers and X-Men. Not these fucking C leaguers you're putting on here now. Go pay for it. God, who could they put on X-Men right now that would not make it fucked?
Ethan Van Sciver.
He's gonna create a mutant that's going to be a self-insert, and it's power a self-inserted mutant that is basically Ethan Van Sciver, except his name is going to be Sethan Van Giver, and
they could put John Malin on Justice League. There you go. That's what'll sell the books right there.
They could, but Ethan would create a self-inserted character, Sethan.
That's the main villain. Seething at their success.
Sethan Van Koper would be the character's name, and his mutant power would literally be able to create pies with his stomach, and pies would just come out of his stomach, all the pies he could want, then he eats them again. That's all he does. It's just a gluttonous mound of pie generating ridiculousness. That's Sethan Van Koper. That's the mutant that he would create. But no, God, I'm trying to think of this now. Like, who could even come back to the game that could do this? You know who would be interesting?
Too many, honestly. I'll say this.
Actually,
dude, it's so bad that Chuck Dixon is not like a guy that's had that much influence on comics. No, but you gotta remember before Eric launched the Rippaverse, he had that one video with Chuck Dixon where he said he literally said this word for word. I remember he said the big 2 won't touch me with the 10-foot pole. That's so bad. A guy that is literally an A-list writer who has did so much for comics. Everyone knows this guy's name. They won't touch him with a 10-foot pole.
Yeah,
you know, you wouldn't put that guy on Justice League. If you announce Chuck Dixon writing Batman coming up, just the solo series,
I'm back. I would come to comics, absolutely.
Batman.
You know what would be interesting for Chuck Dixon to do that he never did, because it's a bit more in this realm. X Factor. I liked that take they had on them, kind of being like a mutant detective kind of thing. Or Chuck Dixon writes Multiple Man because Multiple Man was kind of a detective. That would be a sick ass story of a Chuck Dixon Multiple Man detective story. But also Greg Rucka doing X-Force would be fucking cool. Like a noir, or not, maybe a noir kind of X-Force or X Factor would be really good.
Brian says so many heroes and villains are so derivative of each other. Yeah, like
Very true. Batman. It's a lack of creativity.
Yeah. Everyone knows me. I love Batman, but there's a lot of these different iterations of the character that don't make any like that much sense. Like, what's the real difference? Yeah, like when you have Batgirl, okay, that's interesting. But when you have Batwoman, that's when you start thinking like, what does she really do that Batgirl doesn't do? And then you get into like these. Now, I will say this because people talk derivative characters. Batman's line of characters have done it pretty well. Dick Grayson is not Bruce. Jason Todd is not Bruce. Or just with the Robins in general. All the Robins are not like each other. Tim Drake is nothing like Dick and Jason. The girl, the Kelly girl, is from The Dark Knight Returns, is nothing like those three. You know, Damian Wayne is nothing like the other guys.
Yeah,
that's how you do that. To make them stand out differently. But the thing is, those Robins never take over the story. They're never like the main character because they're not the main player. They're not Batman.
Yeah,
they're their own character.
No, Nightwing has his own book for that shit.
He eventually they made Nightwing.
That's what was nice about it.
Yeah.
Nightwing ended up being a bit like Nightwing ended up being kind of DC's Daredevil without the blind powers. Like he was gruff, but he was still kind of a little punchy, a little effervescent, a little interesting. But he got dark. He got down in the shit with people, and he, got into the dirty stuff. But for the most part, like he was a more he wasn't Bruce. He wasn't this dour, dark figure looming over all of Bloodhaven. He was just Nightwing, and it was good. He was his own man, his own character, with his own fucking set of villains. And I'm sorry, but a hero is not a hero if it does not have villains. You are not your own hero. This is a huge problem with Miles Morales. Miles Morales isn't. He has Spider-Man villains, but he's not Spider-Man. He's not Peter Parker. He doesn't have the history or the context with these villains for them to fucking care about him, for them to have any sort of animus towards him other than him being an object in the way of them committing crime X, crime Y, or crime Z. Miles Morales doesn't have that in this universe. They're not there. He had his own version of Green Goblin, and that was interesting, but he had plenty of other villains that were his own. They don't.
To be fair, the only thing that I always level to Miles is I was supposed to say writing. They could literally potentially get a good writer on Miles Morales and make him interesting. But the problem here is people don't even read the Miles Morales comics right now, despite the bad writers. You think if he's this popular, people will just buy his character just cause. But the writing is so bad. So I think it's a combination of if you put a good writer on him, maybe that might turn his ship around. Maybe.
You need time, dude. I mean, you've got how long of Peter Parker? You've got decades of Peter Parker.
They have. They've done a few. I've not read this yet, but I did buy a Deathstroke book that they did back in Rebirth era. Deathstroke, like you guys be surprised about how many characters that are literally like popular from just animation and movies and live action movies that don't sell fuck all in comics. Honestly, it's actually crazy to see. Honestly,
they do. I just don't have any on the shelf here. I don't think. I'm trying to think.
Wait, Michael got a new PC from his mom? What the heck? Michael doesn't buy me anything.
Michael doesn't buy me anything either.
Also, Walter, you gotta realize, I always take W's here, and I'll never ever lose. Nah, I'm just kidding. You guys always have to agree with me, otherwise you have to unsub. You fucking bastards. I'm just kidding. I mean, one sec, everyone. We're going to get to this Rippaverse stuff in just a moment here after we finish this conversation, because I'm ready to start talking about a black man.
I am. I was trying to see where... So I have the Joker.
They have the Joker. Novel, yeah, they have did. Yeah, they did that. Mm-hmm.
They did it, but I don't have it up here. Or do I? Hold on. No. What?
Yeah, they actually did books from the Joker's point of view. Oh no, wait, they did One More Bad Day actually as well.
I knew I had it.
You had 3 Jokers. It's 3 Jokers, right?
This one, I don't think so. This is Brian Azzarello. Good writer.
Oh,
good
that's
stuff.
That's the solo Joker series from like 2018, I think.
Yeah, right? The solo Joker graphic novel, actually. So yes, they have done it from his point of view a bit. This is a very interesting story. Good art in here.
Where he skins it alive. I don't think you can show that on YouTube. Holy crap! Where he skins it alive. Yeah. Holy crap,
bro! If you can still find this out in the world, again, I don't want anybody going out there and getting out over their skis believing that I've ever read a fucking comic book or bought any ever. I
remember people from the Rippaverse have never bought comics ever. People from the Rippaverse have never bought comics. Oh fuck, god damn! I'm such a fraud, everyone. Look at all this.
I should take this out and reread it again. You are a fraud. I should take this out and reread it. It has been a minute. This is, The
art looks really good. I remember that story. It's
the
really
art is good. This is a really good story.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it gets fucked up in here, dude. And Brian Azzarello is good. Dude, bring this guy back. Do something with him. Do something interesting with him. Give him a thing. I'm putting this on the reading list. Let's get you in here. I gotta read that again. There we go. We're putting that on the reading list. So yes.
Chloe says no disagreements allowed in this Rippaverse cult. That's true, right? You gotta only agree. That's it.
That's why everybody has to agree that I'm old.
All right, let's get this going. All right, let's do it. For the main course, the main appeal. Oh, before we go. So the story that I said at the beginning part of the show. I was in another town. Friend's sister came to get me. Went to Barnes and Nobles for a little bit. People wanted me to review the Dogman books. They had buy one get 50% off, so I bought volumes 1 and 2. I asked the lady, is this volume 1 and 2? She was like, those don't have to be consumed in order. And I was like, I knew she was lying.
Very true.
Because I looked it up online, and they do have an order. They just don't tell you it down here. They do actually have an order because it goes from Dogman to Dogman Unleashed to the 3rd book, and then he's Dogman and the cat character, and then it's the Dogman cat character adventures. They do have an order. What the hell? She just straight up lied to me. What a bitch. Fucking hell.
I didn't know that, man. I don't think my kids have ever read them in an order. For kids,
I haven't read them. Wouldn't care, honestly. What
No,
else we
they
got?
read that and they read the Cat Kid, and Cat Kid has his own book too. Like, dude,
Yeah, he has his
Dave
own book now.
Pilkey's got
Yeah.
like 3 or 4 books going now. Bro,
Remember how we
bro,
did?
Dave
No, we didn't
Pilkey.
do
If
that
you ever
video.
watch this,
We
huh?
No, we didn't do that video. That was me and Iron. You know how DC was talking about doing those compact comics to like be in the form of manga, so like, it's still like just digestible readers copies. So they
Yeah.
finally came out. This is what it looks like. Everyone here, I'll just blow up my screen right here. This is what they look like. Okay, these are DC compact comics you can buy for $10.99, just like manga. Right there, you see right there, $10.99, and they're gonna be basically compact collections of a story you can just get all in one run. So this one's the Court of Owls saga. Scott Snyder, Greg Capullo. It tells you that the genre is going to be in thriller. They have this for Watchmen also right now too. So if I'm going to get this for Watchmen too, I tried to find it yesterday, but I couldn't see it. So if you want to get in, $10 get you this. And this is, I think, 100 and some odd pages. I don't remember how many. The whole Batman
Not
Court of
bad.
Owls run. Right
Is
here.
it manga sized? Did they like shrink it down?
I have a manga right here. So it's like this.
This is a little bigger, but yeah, okay. So they shrunk it down to a manga size so you could
Yeah,
carry
we're
it
gonna get
easier, and they would spend
we're gonna
less
get
money
All
on
Star
paper.
Superman this month coming up. So I might actually get that for All Star Superman. That because it's just a digestible reader's copy. I've never actually read Watchmen. I was like, you know what? For $10, I'll read the whole thing then. For $10, I don't care.
Might as well.
$10.99. Do I look rich to you? This man posted a picture of his shelf, and he had like 4 omnibuses, a whole bunch of hardcovers and trades. He said he was broke.
Listen
everybody,
to this guy.
Negro, please.
The Joker is a Riddler with a Clayface like visage, and that's Bane. Oh my goodness, good lord! Consider it payback for all the lying you do to women. I never lie to women.
Though it's weird.
Oh no, there's more. That's not even the half of it. There's a lot there you guys have not seen yet. Let's just say that.
The comic collection. I mean, mine.
Well, remember everyone, people who support the Rippaverse. Remember, as Ethan said, people who support the Rippaverse don't actually buy comics. They're not really here for comics.
Yeah.
They're only here to support the black man. It's like,
Definitely
what? Can literally whip up my collection
of
right
comics
now.
I don't buy. My Godlike should be showing up next week.
Godlike?
Yeah, we're gonna take a look at that. Also, next week, my Ghost of the Badlands will finally ship out. So I'm ready. I get my black and white and my color hardcover, my black and white soft cover, and my color hardcover. I'm here for this. I can't wait to get into those.
The Master Billionaire? I don't think so. Yeah. All right, let's go. 1, 2, 3. Hey everyone, I'm MSK, aka Master Swag King, coming at you guys today with another video. And if you guys are returning viewers or new viewers, then please consider subscribing to the channel if you have not already. Leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it and comment down below. Also, make sure to hit that notification bell. That way you guys can get notified on whenever I upload a brand new video or go live. And in today's video, we are going to be talking about the Rippaverse comics from Eric July. So, originally, in my Goodyng animated trailer reaction that I did, that a lot of you guys liked, I mentioned the fact that we were going to do this kind of video again. Now, in that video, I mentioned I was going to do this with Red Strider this week, but he's actually out of town. So I thought to myself, you know what? I could just do it with another white man, Professor Savage Dad. And if you want to go check him out on social media, check him out on social media, YouTube channel, and Twitter accounts. I'm going to leave those linked in the description box below. So a lot of you guys liked the video that me and Red Strider did where we talked about like all 3 of the Rippaverse comics from ISOM number 1 to Alpha Core at the moment in time. Now we are done with Yaira, moving into Goodyng. They have a brand new website, and we'll be moving into the Horsemen very soon as well. So I thought to myself, kind of do a little bit of a recap about how we feel about the books and what they could do to improve on and what they've done well. Then we'll do this after again when the 2 non-superhero powered characters have their books put out and we're able to read them and review them as well. So, how do you want to start this off? Because we'll start with Yaira, actually, okay? So, as you guys know, if you check out on my Master Swag King comics and manga channel, we did our Yaira number 1 comic book review. And how do you feel about Yaira so far after you've read it already?
And after thinking about it for a bit, like I enjoyed the book a lot. It was very dense to read though. Like there was a ton, a ton, as you know, of dialogue. So much dialogue. So
Quite a bit.
what I liked, which my favorite part, I love the people talking about how like their favorite part is that like button that's like holding them titties in. It's about to pop.
That's
But
my
it don't.
favorite part.
I
God.
know, right? But my favorite part of the book was where you actually got to kind of know Yaira's backstory. You got to see where she came from. You didn't exactly get all of the detail of who she is and where she came from. I mean, you got to see who she is now. You understand that she came from space, but you don't have you don't have all the deets. You don't have all the way back to whatever the fuck her planet or universe or God realm is that she came from. So you don't know what that is. But you got the backstory of how long she's been on Earth, which is a long fucking time. You got to understand that um in some ways her lineage may be involved because of how far back it was. It may be involved with why some people have powers. Like, okay, this one character has her powers, but who's to say that some of her other descendants don't have different or powers to a lesser extent? Kind of thing. Like, who knows? But you realize that, okay, there's definitely some creatures that came to Earth back in the day and left some people with powers. So that's an interesting concept. You now you know this thing about the Rippaverse is that you know that there were gods or aliens that came to Earth, bred with humans, and brought powers with them, and gave descendants to some extent or another, no matter how much. Because you saw like the grandma had like something, but it
She even
wasn't.
said it. She said it. Remember?
Yeah,
She had
but it
mentioned,
wasn't
"I
to the
know who
extent.
you are."
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, but it wasn't to the extent that the granddaughter had. The granddaughter had like full fledged Yaira juice, basically. So obviously, you now know that also there's descendants in the past to some extent that have developed powers in varying degrees. So you get this now. You see this. I like that they've set this up in the past. You'll be able to use that with other things or have an explanation for certain things. I got to see that she had a very loving relationship with an Earthman, a Viking. She got to be a mother, which I thought was really important to see. You don't see in comics and everything.
She had a
Like, I
lot
mean,
of
you
sex.
got to see
She was a
she was
sex addict.
banging, she was feeding, like, you had some booby feeding going on. Like, you had a lot of things that were very you got a very positive depiction of a mother in a comic book, which you don't get. You just don't get. So I liked that a lot. That's what I liked. I actually like what what Yaira was. I like who she is. I like what they portrayed her as. Now you don't know that she's a villain. You don't know that she's a good guy, but judging from what you see of her past, is she doesn't necessarily come off as a bad guy. I'm thinking anti-hero, kind of like, I'm too old for this shit and they dragged me back in. I almost got out, but now that kind of shit where it's like she's begrudgingly involved herself in these kind of matters when she would rather not, kind of thing is what you get.
Yeah.
So we'll see what more you get from it as it goes on, but I don't get a like overt villain vibe from her. And at least with this is the problem that actually their villains have, is that a good chunk of the villains are very overt, very direct, and not very deep. Like the villains we had here were
Right.
obviously the bad guys, obviously didn't care for humans. Like the comparisons to Viltrumites and other shit and Saiyans is
Right.
not bad or far off. I think it's probably in
Make
that
sure, guys, no
vein,
comparisons.
but again,
Comparisons
don't
are
know for
bad.
sure. Yes, don't know for sure, but it's
Yeah.
in that vein. They were the bad guys. They were the obvious or not protagonists, antagonists of the story. It's very clear, very on the nose that they were antagonists. That's all they did was
Yeah.
antagonize, for fuck's sake, and repeat themselves and not give you any depth to what was going on. And the cutaways you had with them did not give you insight into them as characters. It was just, we're mad. She did a bad, and we're mad, and we're gonna make her pay. And it's like, okay, we get it, we get it, we get it. After 7 pages plus of that, like,
Yeah.
guys, come on. You've got a lot of dialogue, a fuck ton of
Yeah.
villain dialogue that you could have cut 10 pages out practically of them going over it again. Like, just fucking give us something else. Give us some exposition. Give us some sort of information. I get that you want to hide a big secret for maybe the next reveal or whatever, but not every book can be a, oh my god, I gotta save some things for the next book. Like, sometimes you just gotta tell a complete story.
Yeah.
And I don't know, the Saska sisters have a little experience in comics, but in all honesty, they're not much more experienced than Eric ended up being. Like, it felt like they needed some coaching. Whereas Alpha Core told you a story from beginning to end, developed characters, and it left you with like a, in the next issue, this is going to happen. But he wrapped up that part, and it left you with the villains. These ones kind of got away, and they're going off to do other villainous things, and it tied up well. But you can tell the difference in the way the stories completed between a legendary veteran of the industry and people who don't have
had the one run of the character. Yeah.
Or they just, like in the Saskas with Black Widow, which I, by all means, I hear was a good story. I need to read it. But
I did buy it. I haven't got a chance to read it yet. Yeah.
But like, and the same complaints that people give Eric. It's like, okay, the Saskas have done some writing, but they haven't done a lot in the medium of comic. Eric had done none in the medium of comic. So like, these guys are cutting their teeth. They have issues that need to be worked out, but there's good parts to them too. There's concepts and ideas.
Yeah,
like the Larry Shungate wrestling thing and the dude with the costume shop. Like, guys, put some more into this. This is the thing that Eric needs to do. You got to get to a point where you're putting out more than one of these at a time. You got to start getting on a regular cadence on this. Maybe the business isn't there yet, and I know
not
it's
business.
There's no way it's not.
Business.
Yes. Yes. My new business is going to be called Pull Up on My Business Incorporated. I'm going to start that. It's going to be a new shipment company.
You know how Renown Zero
media production company.
You know, Renown Zero in his videos has that part of the thumbnail where it's Ethan with the chain holding up Katie did.
You know what? It's funny that these guys. You know why these
Eric
guys really
whipping them in the back.
You know why these guys are really offended by the term pull up? It's because not a fucking one of them has ever been able to do a pull up. Period. Like, they failed gym class because they could not do one.
Oh, Ethan for sure failed gym class.
Bro.
He probably ate his own fridge growing up.
Dude, Ethan is failing at putting the pie down. Like, bro, he would be so much happier if he went to the gym. He would feel so much better. He would feel accomplished. Like, if he just gave himself a little bit of a diet, stopped eating himself to death. Like, bro, you don't need to be comics George R.R. Martin. You don't, Ethan. You don't have to do this. You can finish your work. People want it. People still want to see your work. People want it to turn out. People want it in their hand. The people who are angry are the people who are really angry are the people who haven't asked for a refund and who actually want to hold that book in their hands and see your art and see what you can do, who believed in your concepts. And you've been letting them down for years now. So don't sit there and fucking gaslight about it.
Yeah.
Like, don't pretend. Like, people really want to see that, and you failed them. Like, dude, if you were going to the gym or if you wanted to talk about your heart health and other shit, like, bro, you had a heart attack and you still look like you're trying to, like,
the thing I'll bring up here,
coronary seppuku.
The thing I wanted to bring up here in this is right now, currently, at the time of us doing this Rippaverse video after Yaira, is Ethan still having his fucking meltdown, coping and seething tirade against Eric, because Eric basically outdid and did everything he wanted to do in this space. Only they outsell him in every single aspect. He's basically wanted to create that like parallel economy that Eric's talked about, actually. And he just sits in his chair in his basement every night, coping and seething that a black man outperformed him. And that's just glorious to see, you know? So much so at a single point that Eric was just wearing a hat, and Ethan thought that meant that Eric was, I don't know, disrespecting him. Like, that's just how
what
you know.
What hat was he wearing? Was it an all-caps comic hat?
I don't remember. I don't remember. Doesn't matter, because that just goes to show you how self-absorbed someone is, where they think a person wearing some merch is offending them.
Oh,
it's
bro.
like, bro, oh my
God.
Would be epic?
Do you want to see him cope and seethe? I want to get an all caps comics hat, like one of the hats that they have,
Yeah.
and then go to a Rippa meetup and have Eric July sign it. And then send it to Ethan. Send it right to Ethan.
Have Eric write Black Man Business on it.
No. Like just on the brim of the cap, right? Pulling up as my business, Eric July. Boom.
Oh God. Yeah. CJ mentioned, yeah, bro. Like, that's just beyond stupidity. So yeah, Ethan's gonna do what he's gonna do. I don't care about what he's doing really. You mostly just watch that stuff just to laugh, you know. But
oh yeah.
All right. So let's go over the actual books.
Oh look, Ethan is here. What's up, Ethan? Hey, we want our books, bro. Like I can't wait.
My book.
I want to read Rainbow the Brute. I really do. I really want to see it. I want to have it. Like I want to hold it in my hand and read the book. All 3 of them, please. Like I really do. I'm not even fucking around. Like I want to see them. I give you shit because I don't want you to eat so many pies you become George R.R. Martin and never finish the books, bro. I want to see them. Well,
okay.
So I want them to come out.
I want to go over Yaira, actually. So,
oh my God, he wants the link, MSK.
We have a rule of the show. We don't actually let people join from the chat. I just don't do that. So
I know. All
right. So time to go over Yaira actually first. So a big problem with the book specifically is all the dialogue dump that is on the book actually, you know? The book actually is so dense in how much it's trying to tell you that you kind of get so much of it. You're just like, such an info dump, you know? That's it.
Yeah. It's unnecessarily dense. I will say that it doesn't like there's so much more that could have been explained in it, and the villains didn't get the opportunity to be as engaging as they could have and interesting as they could have. They were too repetitive. So, and this has been said, and people who pick up Rippa's books and enjoy his content, we've said there's a villain problem. Like that, there is a villain problem. There is a Rippaverse villain problem.
I said this in the review. The best villain they have is just Darian Fontano, because Chadron, he really wasn't all that good. You have the monkeys, for whatever they were called, they weren't good. You also had, who was in Alpha Core? Oh, the guy that basically could like control people or whatever. And then you had his assistant lady. They weren't really all that good. They were like okay, actually. You know, well, I thought she should have been the main hero of the story. That was basically, you know, what I thought. But the guy was really bad. And then in Yaira, you have those Viltrumite characters where it's basically, they're just kind of saying the same shit every single time, you know? They're not different in any way. They're really vague, actually. I didn't really care for them. Like, the reason why I called them Viltrumites is because she kind of reminds me of what Omni-Man is. She kind of came down, started life here, defected away from their original plan, and then she started having a life here. And then they got mad. They found out that she later on defected, and how that played out. And I told people this. The reason why I mentioned that is, I'm not saying that that's bad. I like Invincible. I like Invincible a lot. I love that story. I like Robert Kirkman. But it's not a neg on them, you know, to mention the fact that they took, you know, inspiration from Invincible. I'm sorry. It's not a neg at all. Or to call those characters just Saiyans. Like, essentially, they're like Raditz from Dragon Ball Z. It's essentially the level. They just kind of spout some nonsense saying that they could go out a lot more harder than they would, but they just don't. And I like how people mention the fact that, oh, I don't care if they're vague. Well, you can have vague villains that are cool, that are interesting, though.
Yeah. Yeah, these guys just didn't give me enough because they were just really mad about something she did. And it's like, can you at least, you got to give me a little more than the very preliminary shit. Like, even just a nut hair, a little bit more. Mm-hmm. Change the dialogue when you next, like, she encountered them, what, 2 times, 3 times? I guess by the first time,
when she blew up that thing in the middle of Texas, then they had that confrontation. Then she had the one where Abuela was killed, and then at the end of the book, actually. Yeah.
Yeah. So at the end of the book, it would have been more interesting to have them give us a little more. Like that's what would have made
Yeah.
those villains stick better. Like, okay, I get Yaira, I get some of her motivation,
Mhm.
I get what's going on with this other with the granddaughter. Like, I get it, I see it. This is interesting, and the implications for the rest of the universe are interesting. You have an opportunity, and she's a good character who I think I would have, in all honesty, if you're going to make the villains this kind of one dimensional at this time, then give me more time with Yaira doing stuff, maybe back at the research facility or whatever. So it's like, give me a little more background onto her
Mhm.
her persona, her secret
Mhm.
identity.
Because
Give
remember,
her
this is
that
supposed to be
character a little
like.
more time.
Because remember, people, this is supposed to be like the main female character of the entire universe, actually, and it kind of feels like both Jen and Sylvie went with the idea of we'll just basically tell a lot that's going to happen because obviously if you're going to have a female character of this magnitude for the company, then they're going to want to know like who is she, where's she coming from, what's her deal, right? And in the next book, I would hope the fact that they kind of say what the real reason is that Yaira actually left or defected from her mission because
They
you know
they
because
they have to.
Eric mentioned the fact that he was like, "You're gonna find out who this dangerous woman is," and we do find things out about her. That's not a lie. We
Yep.
do find out things about her, but we didn't find out the main reason why she left. The main reason why she left is
Yep.
important because then that would tie into why the villains are here, right? And since you don't have that, and this is kind of vague, it's like this isn't bad. The art is I like the art of the book, and
The
the
art
action
was very
scenes are
good.
great.
It was
Yeah,
well
the
done.
action scenes are great. The art is good, but
Yep.
those are main story threads that I think the books can improve on. Like I give this example with ISOM number 2. And ISOM number 2, remember how like Chadron kills that person that ISOM is saving, right?
Yep.
The reason why that doesn't hit as hard is because you don't get to see like the day-to-day afterward period of like how
Yep.
it's impacted him. Like if he saw a person getting attacked, then what would he do now that he's quit being a superhero? That's how you connect people to the
Yeah.
character. That's how you can get that personal connection. With Yaira, after it's revealed that, she had the kids and you had the whole backstory, it's like, well, then what did she do on the planet all this other
Yeah.
time then?
Well,
You know?
you got this kind of reverse chronological order of understanding.
Mhm.
Like she was obviously involved with her progeny. She knew the grandmother and all that other stuff. So you can infer, much like you had to with the villains, infer some things. Like you can infer that she's been involved
Mhm.
with her family for the most part, and at some point you can tell she's had negative encounters with Alpha
Mhm.
Core. I don't think she'd had any encounter at all with Avery, so that was just kind of a happenstance that he managed to get thrown into her. But that's kind of it for those two. But she's definitely had some encounters with Alpha Core. There's definitely almost something romantic with Brian Solari over in Alpha Core. Like there's some like
I put out the theory
background
today.
there.
There might have been a lot of sex happening with them. Someone might have caught feelings because friends with benefits. There's always someone that catches feelings. Actually, it's always that'll happen. And then, bam, he's one of them got angry, and then he starts chasing after her every single chance he gets. But then again, she is really attractive, so I chase after her too. Honestly, what was another thing that I think they could do better next time on? I think it's just the villains in general. I feel like if the villains are better for these books, they could get to hit a lot differently.
Yeah.
They're just like, hey, they both. Sasuke has said that Goodyng is going to have the best villain so far.
Well, I will I will I believe that because, and this is the thing, because you've got Mike Barron writing it. Mike Barron is
Yeah.
a legend. He's been around forever. Mike Barron knows how to make a villain like Chuck Dixon also made better villains. The villains that were in Alpha Core were the best ones they've had so far. The flaming rock dude was just the coolest looking one. He had a great aesthetic, and Joe Bennett's art on that was on that splash page of the fight scene
Mhm.
with the big guy. That was probably the best piece of art in the whole book. Like it was inked well and everything else. It didn't have this problem where they had all the different inkers kind of really messing up the style and everything.
Mhm.
Um, so yeah, that was the best, and yeah, they had the most engaging villains in Alpha Core. I think Mike Barron's villain is going to be very, very interesting.
Mhm.
Like because you've only got one guy, so you've
Yeah.
got Goodyng. You're focused in on Goodyng. If they're doing this right, you're focused in on who Goodyng is. You're focused in on what he's about, what he's doing, and moreover, you're focused in on who his villain is. What are the stakes? What are the things that are going to make this interesting? What is this villain going to do? Like hopefully the villain comes out and he does something like fucked up, and like you get something real that you usually get in these more grounded characters, even if it is a bit of a polymath or a technomancer or whatever you want to call him, whatever you want him to be. Having a strong, like, assertive villain would be very interesting. I mean, that would be what I hope is coming. Like, I saw the concepts for me, looks interesting in the art that I saw on the covers, but I trust that Mike Barron knows what he's doing with villains. I have no worry that the villain in this book is going to be very good, much like I'm pretty sure the Horseman's villain will. It has to be good. I'm sorry, but Chuck Dixon doing a street level character with Joe Bennett, like, I don't see Chuck Dixon managing to fuck that up by not having a good villain there. Like, Chuck Dixon understands that street level villains are as defined by their environment as they are by the villains that they are against. Every street level villain has a very strong good nemesis in them. Otherwise, what's the story? The story isn't about superpowers or grand outer space political affairs that are going on or other bullshit. It's about, like, bad guy versus good guy in the streets beating ass. So, is it a crime boss? Is it like a Joker allegory?
Yeah.
I mean, what does it end up being? That's what I'm interested to see in the Horseman. Like, I've seen the artwork, and I don't. Who knows what the background of the hero is? And it's not that I don't care, but I am more interested in seeing what Chuck Dixon does with the villain in this story, because I think that's what Rippaverse really needs. Stronger villains. Now, I'm not saying from a power scale, I'm saying from a writing scale. I want to see better villains.
Because I think what the other thing to bring up here, outside of just like Yaira, is like something that the MCU ended up doing a lot of times, where you know how people said, well, they're just setting up to the next movie, so like, but that's the problem though. You should be able to get a fully contained story that's good from start to finish, even though it's setting up other things later on in the future, and that it could be just good in isolation. It isn't like, basically, just because you're getting something else for a sequel doesn't mean you can't just get something good outright. I've never like subscribed to that ever, because there have been trilogies, there have been plenty of movies to sequel movies where you've gotten good stories and contained, isolated parts of what they're trying to do, and then after that you get a sequel that things were hinted on in the previous movie, and then you got the other thing. I'm just saying, like, that thing you mentioned earlier. It's time to, like, later on, after we get to, I don't know what book, but let's start like revealing some stuff about what we're really trying to do here, because how long can it be a thing where you get one book and it's kind of like setting up some stuff, and it has a plot, but the plot is not like basically engaging enough, because it's just setting up a bunch of other things actually. I've never subscribed to that.
Yeah.
I've always been, hey, you can set up stuff in your isolated product right here.
Yeah.
But you can also give a good story in this product right here. You don't like setting up stuff is like just whatever. I don't take that, oh, well, they're setting up stuff, so that means that's a free pass to write shit. I'm not saying they have. I'm not saying I like the books, but that's never a mindset I ever work with. I think you can do a good job up front without having to do that.
They've got a lot of pages to work with, so I think that, like I said with Yaira, more could have been done with the villains. They set up a story and they set up a lot of things, but like, and this is what I was saying, like, I'd like to see them put more books out at once so they can cover more ground, because like, we can't take these years to cover this ground and shit, because people will end up getting disinterested in things. Like, waiting another year for Yaira is going to be a lot. It's like, dude, I mean, you don't want to wait 5 years to get the whole story out. And you can call me an impatient fan or whatever else, but what they're doing, the way the story is structured, is in a way that's something where they're going to want to speed up the release schedule a little bit. I mean, if you're doing this in this graphic novel format way, where everything's basically graphic novel or bande dessinée or whatever, however you want to call it, like, quarterly releases could get interesting, but again, that takes money, time, and all of that. So I know the business is not there, and if he's building something that, if he's building a business like a man would build a business, you would want to build it in a way that it's going to have a good foundation, that maybe it outlasts
It
you.
does have
It
support.
should outlast you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Eric has a lot of fans. Actually, the books have a
Yeah.
lot of support. So the thing that you said is important too. Where now we're going to be moving on to like Goodying. Well,
Yep.
people I think are going to just start grabbing at characters that they already have attachment to. The reason why I think ISOM made the most money that it did is because it's the first character that he came out with. Because ISOM 1 and 2 had the multi-million-dollar campaigns. We're talking 3.7.
Yep.
The
Yeah,
other
they were
one
huge.
was like what 2.7. Now people gotta understand, if you do anything comic wise, that first character you do always hits, and that's what people kind of like know you for, is that. Then what was also impressive is that you had Alpha Core and Yaira come out, and they were also $1 million campaigns too. But those were the flagship characters that people already knew from ISO number one's campaign. Now you have Goodying, and they obviously released Goodying with a new website actually. And
Yep.
like I mentioned before, I didn't mind the other website before. This website, the redesign looks way better. This is way better,
Yeah.
actually. By
It's a little more
far,
finished for sure.
insane better. It's a lot more clean. You can tell what's going on. And then they started this new format with Goodying called collections, actually. And some people have mentioned the amount of money Goodying's made so far. I don't know from Eric's side, but Eric had mentioned on a stream that there was demand for Goodying. From my point of view, I wasn't that interested in his character when he was in ISOM 2.
Yeah.
But he was a cool character. I'll just say this. I don't think he would inherently need a solo series, actually. Would he? I don't know. Maybe he has to kind of justify that. But Eric has mentioned this is a one-shot. So maybe this is basically just testing the waters for a character like this. I don't think, like, this is the thing that I've mentioned before to like even other people that like Eric's stuff, and I like Eric's stuff too. I don't think every character needs a solo book, actually. I think you could just pair them up with other people in other people's titles, actually. And even right here, this number is still impressive right there. That's a lot. Almost 6,000 books sold. That's great, honestly.
For an indie book, it's not bad at all. I mean, is it doing the insane levels that I think Yaira was the one that went crazy, though the website had a lot of traffic and he's got a lot of individual sales on this one. But yeah, in all honesty, I'm surprised that Yaira was the one that I wasn't going to pick up, really, because I wasn't super interested in her. It's just meh. But the book was good, and I'm probably in for number 2. I don't know if it's going to be right away. I may wait to see how reviews come for it, but I don't know. Now that they're not doing campaigns every time and everything else, it's basically just, here's a pre-order, we're putting up, order it, and it's going to be here and it'll be available. One thing that would be, and I know he likes having it here in house, but if he really wanted to spread this out, it's one of these things where you want to put it in other places. And if he really wants to start blurring the line between being his own publisher and an indie or whatever, like, you can start doing like what I think Phenom does this. Yeah, Phenom Comics did this. They're kind of a smaller scale publisher. They put stuff out. I like this Hunter
Oh yeah, I like
Bear
that.
thing.
Yep.
It's the same thing that Razor Fist is doing with Ghost of the Badlands, and he caught a lot of heat from people over. I guess some people feel he was unclear about it. I feel like I was aware that it was going to be sold elsewhere later, but like he'd said, it was because the demand was so high for it. You'd think more people would have got in, but I guess
Right.
you have the money. You don't always have the money to buy the comics during the campaign. So that's why it's nice to have another storefront to pick it up elsewhere, like All Caps does with their eBay store, their other publishers. Razor Fist got his publisher to put it out so you can get it everywhere, but you don't get the extra story, you don't get all the extra shit that came along with it. So people were mad about it because the stuff that's part of the campaign is still coming out. I haven't got mine yet, but it's I'm getting updated regularly on the Indiegogo, so I know what's going on. I know where the shipping's at. Like, they've been very good, very detailed about it. There's some people that should definitely take a lesson from that. George Alexopoulos has been very on top of keeping people updated, and so is Razor Fist about what's going on with the books. We understand that there's been delays, that there was problems with it, that they had to go and then do the colorized versions, which when they set out to do the book, they didn't intend. And then the demand was so heavy, they're like, I guess we could color it. So he had to finish the art, put out the black and white, and then go back and color it. So, it wasn't intended to be colored up front. It's something that changed during the campaign because of demand. So, and then there was so much demand after the fact, they got it published, but a smaller version of it, like just the story, none of the extra.
Yeah. So that's just kind of like my thing. I don't think every character needs their own solo book. Like, did Goodyng have that much pull where he needed a solo book? I don't know, but like I've always told people this too. Depending on how well the book is received and how much money it makes, I imagine a sequel down the road is not too out of the realm possibility. The Horseman is supposed to be just a one shot too, but given how much money that might make, it's different. Whenever money is on the table, however much money you make changes your minds on things. I mean, after this we have like Bloodruth, and I'll be honest with you guys, I don't know if Bloodruth can hold their own book. She was like okay of a character in ISOM 2. She was okay. She wasn't that interesting.
I feel like, in all honesty, like she could be a good character somewhere else. But what I was looking for from ISOM 2 wasn't Bloodruth. It was more about ISOM. And I got more about Bloodruth than I wanted to know about ISOM. And I feel like they could have they set her up in that book, but she could have been done somewhere else. So it's like I didn't need it. I wanted to see more of what was going on with Avery. I wanted to see more about Shadron. I wanted to see I would have liked to have seen him come back or return. Like, if they're going to do that in say issue 3, like, it would have been good to cliffhanger it on issue 2 of like Shadron returns, whatever, from the depths of hell.
Yeah.
But like, I guess to get to the going to hell, they needed to introduce a more supernatural character.
Yeah.
I don't know. So
are you grabbing Goodyng?
2,
actually?
Yeah,
are you grabbing Goodyng?
I picked it up. Yeah, it's $18. I was like, it's not bad. I was like, I'm interested. I like
cover A, actually. I'm gonna get cover A. It looks so good. I was like, you signed me up for this one. Cover B is probably the best looking one. This is the best one by far, I will say. But I just like cover B, honestly. Oh, sorry. My guy. I basically tossed a coin between cover A and cover B. So I ended up on cover A, actually.
Oof. Which one did I get? Now I don't remember.
You said
whichever one was
$18
one. Yeah,
that's this one.
Which one is that one? Yeah,
this one is
not bad. I think that's the book. Who did that? Was that Kanan?
This is by Will Conrad.
Will Conrad? Oh, okay, well, that's what I got. But it was, I'm interested enough. I mean, personally, I thought the guy with the costume shop was pretty interesting too.
Oh, the Lucius Fox guy. Yeah.
Like, I want to see more of what that guy's got
going on.
That
guy.
Like,
yeah.
Like, is he going to be yet another business owner? Does he work? He could show up in this. That could be interesting because I could see an overlap between that guy and Goodyng. The brain is farting on me.
Eric has also introduced the Rippaverse. So I'm obviously going to do an individual review of this on my comic and manga channel. So basically what this is, back in the day, you guys potentially liked an anime or TV show or a movie, and you would go to the store with like your family, with like your mom and your dad and your grandma. You go to like the magazine section, you grab a magazine because it'd be like the most interesting part of the trip, unless you went to like a toy store or something like that. I remember a stream where like I think someone super chatted and asked Eric if he was ever going to do a magazine style book for the Rippaverse, and he said, I don't know how I would make that work. So come with Yaira #1, he actually made it work where you have the Rippaverse. So this is the $7 variant. The one with salvage PI on it was like $20. To me, I don't care about variant covers to the extent where like I'll just get it because it's a variant cover. I have to like the artwork on the front of it. It doesn't matter. I could get the main cover. It could look just better. It doesn't matter to me. This is actually a really cool idea. This basically is something you can buy for someone. We can give it to them. So if they're on the fence about it, they can kind of get in at a very cheap price, get to understand the creators behind the business, and get previews of ISOM 1, 2, Alpha Core, and Yaira, actually. Now, I'll admit here, Yaira was actually the newest thing coming out when this was actually released. So I don't know if putting Yaira in here as a preview was a good idea, but it is in here. actually.
Yeah.
And you do have the Salvage PI 13-page story by Eric and Bart Sears. I think this is the best written story by Eric
I might
so
pick that up.
far. I'll say
Like,
this right now.
I like PI stories.
This is Eric's best written story so far. This is his best writing. He's definitely improved from ISOM 1 and 2 to this, honestly.
Well, I'd imagine he's got guys like Mike Barron and Chuck Dixon working with him on this shit. So, you know, pick some brains, dude. Don't surround yourself with talent and not try to learn something from them. So it's good that he's doing it. I mean, it's if you want to grow as a writer, that's what you got to do.
Well, like for this idea, you know, they could also advertise other indie comic companies like Gabe Eltaiz's Big Man Comics with Dean Cain. They have it right there. That's Dean Cain, All American Lawman. I bought this actually. You know, this is a great idea.
Lawman.
This is a great idea. Honestly, it gives you previews for like the other books. Actually, the description of them. Yeah, this is a really great idea. Hopefully, they keep doing this. Honestly, I think Salvage PI, given how well it was written, should have his own solo series. I could. Blood Ruth is someone that could probably be in this format, like a 13-page horror story. Mini. Not that bad.
I think she needs more development. I think she needs more time to cook. I'm not saying it's not possible. I'm just saying right now. But you know who else would have been interesting that I would have liked to have seen from a supernatural standpoint were those North Africa guys. Like, give me what the fuck is even going on with those dudes? Like, give me more of that. I was already curious. You put them at the end of the book. You've got a bunch of metalhead, maybe mystical god type characters. Like, okay, let's see more. Put them in the Ripazine. In all honesty, I said this a while ago. Like, he's trying to set up back when we did, I think, issue 2, I was complaining, okay, you put Blood Ruth in and these other characters and like you're doing a lot of stuff here, but like, hey, as opposed to putting them in here and kind of cluttering your story, drop an 80-page giant of like 4 characters.
Make it an anthology.
Dude, an 80-page anthology to introduce.
Yeah, they could do what Ghost Machine did. Do what Ghost Machine did for the preview book they had before their single stories launch. Ask the Rippaverse audience what characters you want to see, like more of the obscure ones. Put them all in one book for previews, like Ghost Machine did. Release that and see which character ended up being the most popular one. Kind of like they did with Salvage PI right there. That was good. That you gave us a little bit of something, just so it holds us over, just until we get another Salvage PI story. I would say Salvage PI can hold his own story. That's a character I'm definitely interested in reading about. Oh, Nafrika.
This is the thing.
Like Nafrika, I think, given the fact that it's a group setting of characters, could hold their own story. Actually,
it could be. It could definitely be interesting. It all comes down to who he gets to write it, and yeah, I don't know. You know, I don't know what's going on other than Chuck Dixon, Mike Barron, and who's there right now. So. It'd be interesting to see, you know, there's people in the works, rumors, whatever. So we'll see what goes on with that. But I have a lot of actual faith in Goodyng being good. And even
I have faith in Mike Barron. I've talked to Mike. I've had him on the Iron Man podcast. We did a one-on-one. We had the one episode where he couldn't make it full hour, so I had to turn it into a conversation. Mike, I know, knows how to write great stuff. Mike is awesome. He definitely understands how to write a character, how to do pacing, dialogue, all that stuff. So, yeah, this honestly might be a hidden gem for them. But the book that I'm waiting for is Horseman. But I want to see what Mike can do. Because Mike, let's be honest, he's got other things he's working with Eric. He's like slightly mentioned it, but, you know, NDAs and all that other stuff, actually. So, damn. What other character could they do? Because they would have a street-level hero. They have Goodyng. They have Isom, Alpha Core, Yaira. You have Nafrika, Blood Ruth. What other character could possibly be a good idea for the company to do? They have a detective. Okay, so that's street-level stuff, actually.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of what other type of character could they have that would make sense for the universe, actually. Because I think there needs to be... Because maybe Goodyng will be this, but throughout all the books, you don't really get to see too much of the actual people of Flores Park. You know, like, how do they feel about Accepts? How are they interacting with them? What is, like, the general way and Accept powers manifest? You know? We need something like that, you know? A few of the books have glanced into it here and there. Nothing super big, honestly, you know? Hopefully that's probably... Because Goodyng, I feel like, is going to be that more street-level thing where he's interacting with people that obviously can't afford the best services because his thing is charging people affordable services to get stuff done that the other people can't get to. So, anything else that
I think that
we had to mention, because pretty sure we mentioned everything. The books have gotten better and better progressively. Now we're going to be at non-superpowered heroes. The website's improved. I like the Rippaverse idea. Just, I think the thing that really has to get cleaned up is storytelling in a little bit of levels. Just villains and making the most emotional moments for the characters hit and impact. That's the things they need to work on. That's it. Other than that, everything's good. They're getting our books on time. Customers are happy. It's a good company so far. I love investing to the stories.
Yeah.
And we're getting thick books too. Pure factoring. Dude, Yaira is like, what, 96 pages? For like, what, 25 some dollars? That's pretty good, people. Just what I'm saying. That's pretty good for an indie comic company to be putting out. A 96-page book for like $28. Just steal, in my opinion. I buy a lot of books, actually. So I would know.
That's why you don't have a bed.
I have a bed. It's over there. You guys just can't see it. And believe me, I'm black, so I'm telling the truth, and I'm not Don Lemon from CNN. Just believe me. Santuan book. I think let's make a book on Darian Fontano. Wait a minute. That's the next book Mike's doing. He's probably doing a Darian Fontano book. I'm guessing. I don't know. I'm just guessing.
Obviously. I would like to see a fun hero. I would like to see somebody who's got a little bit of street presence. Is a little like I would like to see a Spider-Man or somebody in the vein. Somebody who's a little on the street, who isn't like cosmic tier, who's fighting kind of these super villains, but like we're not talking like the big ones. We're not talking, Superman level villains or Alpha Core level villains. He's fighting, Sandmans and whatever, like the Spider-Man-esque type rogues galleries, or maybe a Flash, somebody with a little more fun, effervescent attitude. That is one thing that I think is missing a little bit from their superhero lineup. Something they could do. I mean, it's it simply just hasn't been put forth or thought of as a character yet. Or
TJ, it's a good idea too.
Realm.
I think rather than giving other characters multiple solo titles, I think give people the title that they're always going to pay money for so far, right? Because Eric has mentioned in his videos in the past, right, when I was watching them, what are people going to actually buy versus what they say they're going to buy? Now, I think Eric's fans will buy things he produces because they like him, which is fine, but I'd rather get more Yaira and Alpha Core books, honestly, or ISOM stuff than for characters that,
he's
I'm not saying these guys can't hold their own books. I'm saying the fact that, could these characters just be better featured with other people? Because not everyone needs a solo book. Like, some characters are just better with other people, and there's nothing wrong with that. Or you do it as a duo book. ISOM and Goodying, Yaira, ISOM, Alpha Core, Yaira. You could do that. Those are good ideas.
Well, I mean, Alpha Core is a team book, so you're going to have that. But yeah, I think that what he's saying there is true. I think what we do need to see is more. I need to see the next issue. I need Yaira 2 more than I need Bloodruth at this point to keep me interested. Like, I got a taste and I'm kind of interested. Yeah, make sure you bring plenty of buttons to hold the titties in. But like, I need Yaira 2 because I want to understand the character and the villain's motivation better. And I'm fine with you taking 2 issues to do that, but don't take 2 years to give me those 2 issues. That's kind of more of the thing. Because then it's like, am I going to maintain interest over that amount of time? I don't know. Maybe on to something else. Maybe other indie books that I want to read are popping up. Like, there's always something coming out, getting in the way of things. And I don't have unlimited funds, so I'm not going to buy every single thing.
CJ also says, I think they made Goodyng into more of a side character for the other heroes like ISOM, Yaira, and Alpha Core. Yeah. And if he's going to be the tech guy, people don't understand, like, tech characters with no powers, it's a hard sell. It's like basically if Cisco got his own, it got a spin-off series from The Flash. It's like, would he really be that interesting on his own? Probably not.
I mean, Iron Man was always interesting. Tony Stark was always interesting. So if you can keep it in that kind of realm of things, then that could be very good.
Yeah.
The police busting your door down?
Oh, no. There was black people outside doing crime, as usual, because they always do that. So, that is pretty much it. Kind of to summarize what we talked about here. I think if they just can get the villain thing down, the books will be a lot more impactful. And just showing those moments where the characters go through what they've made as decisions, I think that's it. Like I remember, like in Alpha Core, the reason why people think Alpha Core is the best book. Alpha Core, remember when it was revealed that Brian, we took that flash drive and he put it in, it like took that building, that like floating ship they were in, and it flung it. That's impactful because he realized, hey, I was probably too hasty in doing that decision. Actually, things like that. That makes sense, honestly. But yeah, Eric's doing good work out here, putting out constant books. And keep in mind, people, he can only improve, right? Because I know everyone's like, but Marvel, blah, blah, blah. First of all, Marvel and DC took a long time to get to where they're at. And let's be honest here, that was murky water in a lot of different areas to get to where they're at. People got to give people time to improve at things. It feels like a lot of people just want like the end result immediately, while not really realizing that it takes time to get to the end result. People just want instant gratification. That's basically just a long way of saying what I just said, but that's what people want. They want like every indie book to be like the best thing ever. And it's like, to be honest, you guys, when you're following a book series, not every book in that series, not every movie in that series, not every TV show season is going to be the best in that whatever you're consuming. You're going to get lackluster books. You're going to get lackluster episodes in TV. It's just going to be a thing. Now, you don't always want to have lackluster stuff, but that's just going to be what it is. And all these crappy Rippaverse detractors, man, the whole 3D assets thing. I like what Casino, what's his name? PPP from Kino Casino said. He was like, he yelled and the Riley video was like, who cares? Who gives a shit? Like, I don't give a shit, guys, about 3D assets. I'll be honest here, whether he used them or not, I don't care. We are not artists. I don't give a shit personally. Here, I'll be honest here. What's his name? Dave Pilkey could have used 3D assets to make this. I don't care. I don't give a shit. I maybe would have never known. And if he did or didn't, I don't give a fuck either way. I don't care. The books are selling, the customers like them, and Eric is improving, and that is all that matters, actually.
Exactly. And if Dave Pilkey did do it, guess what? He's the #1 selling comic book artist in the fucking country.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he actually outsells Batman, Superman, X-Men, Spider-Man.
He outsells all of them. He's #1. He is the biggest name in the game. He has the biggest swinging comic book dick in the industry. In the whole fucking industry. Marvel would give up all of their testicles and all of their writing staff, none of them have any anyways, to have that man sniff at writing a book for them.
Okay. All to answer this, because this is the purpose of the video. So, but is her backstory a suspenseful mystery, or is it just not explained and you're left like? Okay, so I'll go over that because this is what the comments in our other review said. Okay, so it's not that it's not good. It's more as if like it is a little derivative of the reason why you're interested in the character to begin with. So we're interested in the character to find out, why did she defect from her mission? Her backstory is to get you on the emotional level of her having kids and a family and affection. Okay, that's not bad, but that's not the. But that's like that would be Yeah, but that would be understandable that she would have had a family and kids. Because I'll be honest here, I expected that coming in. I expected her to have a family. Yeah. I've seen these stories written before. I knew that was going to happen. I just didn't know what time period it would be.
They're like just not written today.
Yeah, that's really all it is. So it's also just in this vein of like, okay, this gets me on the emotional level, which I mentioned before they need to work on. So the Sasuke's did that. But the other impact of that would be, what did she do when she knew her kids had other kids and she kind of like sat back and watched them grow up without her? Or was she like in those kids' life? Those are things like when you make a decision.
Yeah.
I want to see the character's impact of that decision. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. We got some implications of that throughout the story with the grandma. So you can infer it. Do we see it completely? No. That's why I'm saying the character, if that character is going to be successful, it's going to need a second issue, and it's going to need it sometime soon, because you're going to want to draw us in more. You can answer all these questions and keep that character interesting in the now. All you're doing is telling us a backstory. This character isn't Wolverine. This isn't a Wolverine type character, like where we understand everything you need to know about Wolverine without ever really needing to know his origin, and I didn't need to know it. And that you can make that argument for different characters at different times, but I think for this one, like that's what we're looking for. We're trying to understand what it is she did. So we got her backstory of her time on Earth. We know what happened when she came here. We know how long she's been here, long fucking time. We understand that she had family and children at least one time. It doesn't say if she ever dabbled again. It talked about that one period of her life, and then we're seeing her children from that history.
Yeah.
So is there another point in time where like she hooked up? Who knows?
Well, you got a little bit of that toward the end of the book where Brian was taking her great grandchild into the Alpha Core thing. That is what I'm talking about. And then she sees them.
Yep.
She sees her grandchild having a good life, and she goes away and she's sad. That's what I'm talking about. That right there.
Yep.
But that needs to be more of a consistent thing to make you really get behind the character, because Yaira is kind of just more like she's like she's literally Omni-Man. It's literally what she is. She's like a female version of Omni-Man. She's a conflicted hero villain anti-hero. That's what an anti-hero is. Yeah, she's kind of just like what Omni-Man is. And what I told people before, I'm not saying that is a bad thing. I like Omni-Man. But when I'm drawing comparisons to like Viltrumites and stuff like that, it's just to draw comparisons so the average person can understand what we're talking about. That's it. Once you watch enough media, you kind of know how stories progress and how they kind of go. It's just a thing you develop. Like I knew when I was reading, I was like, she's gonna have a backstory of her having a bunch of kids. It's very tell. You can see it. It's something you pick up over time anyway. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I am definitely hyped for the Horseman, but Goodyng be a nice little piece of meat in my mouth.
I think in
the meantime,
it's Mike Baron.
Yeah,
I have little doubt that it's going to be very good. I think it's going to be, if it doesn't do what Yaira did and it doesn't have that much sales or doesn't make that much, then it doesn't. But I still think the book's going to be good. I think it's going to be a low key book that will probably do better over time, because I think it's going to take it getting into people's hands and being like, holy shit, like Mike Baron. Like all this shit that people have to say about the villains in the Rippaverse, like I think I hope and I think that if anybody can, Mike Baron's going to do that in this book, and we're going to get a good villain, and people are going to be like, "Holy shit! No, go read Goodying, bro. There's the Mike Baron like knocked it out. It's a great villain." So that's the one thing I hope for the book. Like everything else about it can be whatever. If Mike Baron drops a good villain on us, somebody that works as a good villain for the hero as well. You've got to have a good match on that. Then hats off. I'm down. I'll pick up another. I don't think Goodying was supposed to be a.
Goodying was a little late. Goodying, I think, is the only late book so far, because it was supposed to release in spring, and we're now in summer, and it's. But I would say before that probably had something to do with how Yaira's fulfillment came into play. But before. A little late like that ain't gonna hurt nothing. He's like, what? Like maybe what? Two weeks late? It's nothing.
Too. They got to get to the point, I think, now that they've got a lot of this foundational stuff built. I think the focus in the next year, I get growing out. Like they need to grow up, but they also need put more than one book out at a time.
He mentioned that. He mentioned the fact that he mentioned what you mentioned, I think, in yesterday's live stream with him. They have the foundation ready. And now he's made the money, so now he doesn't have to do campaigns anymore, or what's he called pre-order campaigns. He doesn't do that anymore. Now he could just get the book made, release the book on the website, and now it sells. That's it. It could literally drop he could at this point drop a book every month. He's a millionaire at this point, so he definitely has the money. After reading Yaira, Brian Solari to me is the best character of the universe so far. I love this character. Character's awesome. I think Debbie said, "What is the Horseman?" That's the street level hero. I think. Good lord, I think it's in here somewhere. Can I search? Fucking hell, man. My account. No, you guys don't see my account. Nope. Can't see that stuff.
Oh, wow. Student of God is in the chat. What's up, dude?
Student of God. What's up, man?
Man, people be paying attention tonight. Showing up after EVS was here.
Good lord, man.
Unless EVS is still
barely. You literally barely mentioned him in a joking manner, and he just started. Dude, calm down.
I spoke into the camera. I wonder, can I evoke EVS like a demon? Can I speak into the camera and be like, EVS, put the pie down, Draw more pages today.
That's what I think he should do too. No, he did.
He appeared
on Twitter. The Rippaverse has an ad, actually. I saw it. He did buy ad space. I noticed it. The Rippaverse Comics has an ad on the left side of the tab on Twitter. I've seen it so far.
Oh,
but
nice.
No, you're right. That's a good idea. Yeah, no, that is a great idea. I'll be honest here. I had an indie author on, and he said advertising really helped him sell books, honestly. But advertising costs a lot of money, even on YouTube. I checked the price to promote our Yaira video. Guess how much it was to promote it in the US? $200. $200.
Oh, wow.
Just to put it on the homepage of YouTube. I'll be honest here, it was pretty tempting.
I'd have to be really happy with something that I produced in order to do that. And
maybe I'll put that Nickercata video we did on the front page of YouTube. Oh, shit. But that video already blew up without me doing that, though. That video literally blew up without me just doing anything. I just posted it. But here's the Horseman right here. This is their street-level hero, created by Chuck Dixon, Joe Bennett. So if you guys like Alpha Core, that's what I'm saying. This is going to be the next best book. Because the people that already did the best book already is doing this one. So, hey, you can sign me up here. I became a member already. So here's the memberships right here. So basically, the membership that I'm on, I think the $5 one, you get exclusive wallpapers, 10% off merch, early access to pre-orders, a free copy of the latest Ripazine. I already have the first one, so I just get the second one for free, and access to website forums. And then you get the free shipping on the mega $20 monthly. That's where you get the free shipping at. But then again, now the company has PayPal Pay in 4, so I like how we have the more options now. I'll just say that, But if you want the free shipping, that's $20. And the company has the PayPal Pay in 4, so if you couldn't afford it all at once, you can just pay it off over time, actually. There you go. And the same thing Chloe said. If Goodyng's late, I just don't care. See, I get to adult. I don't care. I don't care if things are redrawn. I don't give a shit. Stop telling me stuff I don't care about, actually. I don't care. You're just telling me shit like a girl will be like, hey, my boyfriend broke up with me. And I just tell a bitch, I don't care. Fuck off. All right, man. Yeah. Any closing thoughts on this video before we head out? Actually, anything you want to shill before we head out of this?
Dude, I'm on fucking an indefinite hiatus currently while I work on stuff for personal.
You gonna do your
personal
OnlyFans
life
page on this hiatus?
No, that ain't personal. That would be content creation, and I got to lose like 30 pounds and be benching at least another. I got to put at least another 50 pounds on my bench press before I'm fucking taking my shirt off for money. Yeah, and that's if my wife is gonna sell me. Who knows? But depends on what I can buy her with the money. But no, I ain't got shit going on. I'm showing up on shows, guesting where I can, because even though I'm spending all of my waking hours doing shit I need to do as the husband, father, man, etc. I do need an outlet occasionally to talk shit and have fun, and so that's what I'm gonna keep doing. Hey, no, dude, go put the. What are you doing with that droid? Drone. My children are picking up the DJI drone and like wandering around with it while the dogs fight. I'm like, no, this is gonna end badly.
Oh God. Okay. Well, thank you guys for checking out this video. Like I mentioned before, if you want to go and subscribe to Professor Savage Dad's YouTube channel, follow him on X, follow him on anything. Links in the description box below. And I will be going out and having so much sex with all these random women. I'm just kidding, guys. But yes, Eric is doing awesome work right now. Eric is doing awesome work in the indie scene right now, getting books out on time, large format books, paying his employees and all that stuff on time. They love him. I love being a part of the Rippaverse fans Facebook page. It's awesome. Rippaverse fans have been pretty nice to me, actually. You know what you have to do to get people to like you? Just be cool and nice to them. You don't gotta be people are like, why is everyone so mean to me? Probably because you're an asshole. Try not being an asshole. Maybe people might actually like you. So yeah, thank you guys for checking out this video. If you're a returning viewer or new viewer, subscribe to the channel if you have not already. Leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it. Comment down below and hit the notification bell. That way you guys can get notified on whenever I upload a brand new video or go live. I'm MSK, aka Master Swag King, and I'm signing out, guys. See you guys later. Peace.
Peace.
Goodbye.
Later.
we are screwed. We're
What do you
gonna get
mean?
it
You're
so
still
bad.
live. Oh. What do you mean you're gonna? Oh, I thought you, dude. I thought you were about to close out the whole thing. What do you mean
Oh
you're gonna
no.
get? What are you getting?
Oh, we're gonna get so fucking railed. He's probably gonna make a
What the?
trash cast and talk. I was
Oh,
like,
he don't give
okay.
a
I'm
shit,
gonna
dude.
explain this right after
Small
the rule.
scale.
Literally, I mentioned I do not send links to people in the chat. I don't care how big a content creator is. I don't care. Okay, everyone knows that's a rule. He would have known that because he obviously doesn't watch, so that's fine, right?
No,
But
he ain't gonna watch. He doesn't.
and
What did we
that's the
get?
thing is, all you did was just mention him in like what, maybe a minute for like less than 50 seconds, maybe a
Yeah,
minute, and then
I was
all
like,
I said was like he was
yes.
spurging, and then all I said was he was spurging out over Eric wearing the hat, and he was going. That's all he said. That was maybe less than 2 minutes of the video. It was like,
Yeah.
calm down.
Oh,
It's not that
the video.
serious.
I just check a video, random video, and it's all about me. It's like, no, it was me saying, Ethan, put the pie down. Don't be George R.R. Martin. Don't eat yourself into a fucking hover round, bro. Just finish the book. Finish your books. And that, I mean, I don't know when he came in, but there was the point where I'm sitting like, hey, your fans want the book. They want to see it. They want to read it. They want to know what you
that's
have to do with Rainbow the Brute. They want to see that book. Fans want that. Real fans want to see your art and enjoy your comic. They don't care about trash casts at all, or your disdain over another man's success. Don't care.
I don't care how many people are watching live. The people that are watching live are awesome. I don't care if it's 4 people. I don't care if it's 10 people. I don't care if it's 15. You know, I've always thought this. It doesn't matter. The more viewers you have does not mean your show is better or good. It's just you have a lot of people watching you. Congrats if you do. But if you don't, I don't know what that's supposed to mean. That's like not a measure of anything, honestly.
It just means you hit the algorithm right for a day. It's not like you have 10,000 viewers where you have a huge collection of people who randomly, or not randomly, but who look for your show and expect you to be on, every Tuesday night at 8 o'clock or some shit. Like, it's just that, yeah. I don't care about the number. I just, whoever's here, that's
Mr. Hope. Chloe says that's why I don't care about it being late. Technically, sometimes shit happens, and a few weeks extra. Yeah, that's why I said Goodyng is late because you mentioned spring. But I'll be honest, it doesn't matter. It's like what, 2 weeks late. That's nothing, guys. That's literally nothing in the grand scheme of things. This book's gonna come out, and it's gonna.
I'll still have my the end of next month. So, meh.
That was just so weird. He was mentioned like 2 minutes. Maybe less than 2 minutes of video. And just,
yeah.
Calm down, bro. He called us gay though, and I was like, dude, yeah, man, I'm always very happy.
Dude, he's come on to me before and called me gay, and then I saw that picture of him with his tattoo of his name on his titty, and I'm like, oh shit, bro was coming on to me. Like, Ethan, bro, you're a good artist. You're a great artist.
Nice work. The thing is, I've even told people this before. I don't even hate him. I just think he's just spurging out and going crazy over nothing. Is that? But I'm not gonna sugarcoat that I don't like his takes on things. His takes on things are awful for the most part. I don't hate him. You know what I mean? I don't hate people. You have to really do something to me personally for me to hate you. Like Ashley back in the day, or like Andy. Like, no, I don't hate anybody really.
Yeah, I don't know him like in a way that I need to like. I'd have to care. I don't know Ethan Van Sciver, and he doesn't know me. He popped in here. We'll probably never see him again, and that's fine. Whatever. He popped in at a time where I said, "Stop eating pies, fat man, and make your comic because the people who care about your art, who are fans,
that's not even an insult.
To see it."
That's not even an insult.
Nah, dude. People like an Indiegogo for pies. Fuck that.
Yeah. All you said was, "Hey, make your books. Your fans like you. Get them out on time." You talking shit about me? Now I got what? What? Fuck.
Well, that's what made me gay. That's what made me gay. So definitely very gay for me to want an artist to give his fans the art they want from him.
But yeah,
dude, that's more interesting than
shows like that. I've mentioned this before. No. It's never gonna happen. I don't care how big someone is. It never happens. The reason we do these shows.
What if Mr. Beast shows up at your house and he's like, "Bro, I need you to come here.
We're gonna show up with Ava.
We're gonna rob a bank."
We're gonna show up with Ava, so we can have a threesome. 2 straight guys and a trainee. Like, no, fuck. Ugh, God, slanging meat in my best friend who's became a she. Oh,
I
it's
just
gross.
appreciate that I apparently have the power to evoke EVS into a room. Like I say his name 3 times, and he shows up like the fucking Candy Man, except it's the Pie Man. Like
Even when we
Pie
didn't
Man,
do
Pie Man, Pie Man.
it wasn't even really you.
He's in the
All I
chat.
said was that he was going crazy over something because Eric was wearing a hat because he thought it was insulting him. Like, what? Mint? Bro, lay off the meds. Good lord. He was definitely lurking the whole time he spoke up.
You think so?
He's probably still
Maybe.
lurking. Like,
Maybe
all
he
the
is. Who knows if he's still out
even
there?
if he
Whatever,
is,
dude.
Ethan, you were not mentioned as much as you think you were. You were mentioned for like what, maybe less than a minute max, maybe.
Maybe more than a minute. We gave him a little crap about being the George R.R. Martin of comics and eating too many pies, and the Indiegogo to just buy himself pies. Like, bro, you don't need any more pies. I don't need more pies, and I'm half you.
Yeah.
But again,
now we can do Monster. Let's talk shit about that guy. Not just kidding. He just shows Katie did fuck that bitch too. That retarded fucking bitch.
Oh
fuck
damn, she's gonna show up out of nowhere. Here she comes.
What's
she's
she
gonna show up at your door.
What's she gonna do? Show me her long box, which has like one comes cake.
Wait, what did you mean by long box exactly? I hope that wasn't a vagina allegory. bro. Oh god. Oh, how much is in the long box? Can you fit? Oh god. Oh no, that's
he's
too much.
definitely
Too
gonna
much.
go
That's
over. You know what's crazy is he's gonna go over this tonight. This on Trashcast, and guess what he's gonna do? He's gonna think like we're just washing Eric's nuts, and it's like no, we praised him, and we also give him criticism.
We were sitting here criticizing him more than we praised him tonight. For fuck's sake.
Yeah, I said, hey, Eric's doing really good. He's doing a great job. I think his customers like him. His employees like him. I just think they need to improve, from my own personal opinion, on these few things, and that's it. And you're good to go. You know, I can't wait till he tries. I can't wait till he tries to spin and says, "Oh my god, they were just sucking him off," and it's like, dude, it's literally when we weren't. We're just having a general conversation about what we think of the company. It's like fucking hell, crazy. You know, you can actually criticize somebody and it not be disrespectful, and they can take that as like, oh, okay, that's just that person's opinion. That's fine. You know, not sitting there going like saying derogatory things like Dick Masterson would. Like, no, we're not fucking degenerates.
Damn it, MSK, you can't do that in the indie comic space. You have to understand that putting your comics out is completely antithetical to the whole idea.
What they do is they grab wads of shit from the crack of their asshole, and then what they do is throw it at the wall, and they
shit.
Oh,
like what did I do? What?
We evoked him into the room. We summoned him. We said "Pie Man" 3 times directly into the camera, and he
who knows
appears in chat.
He might be even sub to the channel.
Cover this. In all honesty, why would he? Did he sub to the channel?
He will. He will. He probably. I don't know.
You can see. Go look.
All right. I have to sign out because you know how I told you. This channel was ran by me and a friend at one point, so it's on his email. So I have to sign into his email to get access to the main channel. So I can see if he subbed to my comic one. It's definitely not doing that.
Definitely isn't subbing to my channel at all. Nope. Yeah. See, nobody does that. There we go.
Well,
77 days ago. I've got 88 on Rumble. I'm still trying to get.
Let me see. I can literally just go and check right now.
Let me see YouTube.
Dude, I'll be honest here. The way to get followers on Rumble is if you invite bigger people that push it in the algorithm. You have an active chat for like a few streams. That'll push it. Dude, I went 7 days a week on Rumble to get to like almost 300 followers, and I'm still not at 300 followers. It's ridiculous. It's actually crazy. He probably. Oh, good lord! Fuck my pussy, man.
Did he follow you?
No.
He did?
No.
You're shitting.
No, he didn't. No, he didn't. No.
I don't,
no.
Dude.
Crazy.
We're way too small scale for him to give a shit. Like I don't see the point. I do wonder why he wanted to come into the chat. Maybe I don't know.
No, because I know how that goes. Back in the day on the Nightly podcast, when that would happen, people would do that just to. No, that isn't happening. I have to get stuff done on these shows. I have to clip the stuff
just
out for
to
content.
Derail it. Yeah.
No, because even if I want to have a conversation, I don't have a problem having a conversation with someone I disagree with. That's not the point. It's more like,
do you want
this to get stuff done?
So hit him up if you want to, and try to have a one-on-one with him.
I'd rather slit my throat, actually. I'd rather eat pies. I'd actually rather just eat shit if we're going to do that.
I'd consider it if I was doing any production right now, but I don't have time for it. So maybe someday. I wouldn't want to. I don't know that I'd even want to talk comics with the guy. I would want to. In all honesty, with some of his takes recently,
he's not going to talk about.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about other people.
The only stuff I would ever want to know from him is just the DC period. That's it. It's the only interesting stuff.
I don't even want that, dude. I would, with some of his kind of ass takes about shit lately with children, I would be more interested in a parenting conversation and set that record straight one way or the other of what does he really mean by shit? Like, I mean, it's not the way he put it out is, about as clear to take as the way shit was put out by Dr. Disrespect.
Oh God! Oh, I'll ask you about that because we didn't talk about that yet. I did the videos on it, guys. They'll be clipped on and coming out. But okay, so the way he worded that tweet.
Yep.
It's worded in a way where he knew if the person was underage, because the main thing that people had going for him was the fact that, okay, if he didn't know this person was underage, then that's understandable because it's because here the situation would work out like this. If you don't know something about someone and you do it, that's understandable because you didn't know, they misled you. But if you do know and you still act on it, that's different. He didn't mention the fact that he did know they were underage. He didn't mention the fact that, okay, how inappropriate did these things get? Because I think what really screwed him over is the part he said, he was honest, but I'll give him credit for that. He mentioned the fact that it leaned toward getting a little inappropriate. So remember, he even put in the tweet at the left edited part, individual minor. Dude, a little inappropriate with individual minor, bro, that's not good. That's bad. Even if you didn't, send pictures, even if you didn't like meet up, that's still that's really creepy. Even if you didn't, even he's not a pedophile technically, that's really creepy. That's bad.
It makes a lot of people look bad. It makes Twitch look bad. You got to wonder. They paid the guy out. They went all through the legal shit about it, and this was what it was like. If you can put that in the background, and you can wonder about that. But I think about this directly from what the man said, and like, guy, you dug your own grave, like you really did. It was. You did what you did, man, and you said what you said, and that's just is what it is.
Yeah, because the Twitch thing, Twitch is not at fault here because people are like, well, Twitch is not the good guy here. First of all, they let OnlyFans cam whores on their fucking website. So first of all, this kind of thing could happen more than a few times if we're being honest here. Second thing is they need to literally at this point have an age verification system. So even if a younger person were to lie, they can figure out that the person is lying and kick them off because they literally were able to look at Dr. Disrespect's personal Twitch whisper messages with this person. So they have a way of doing it. They're just not doing it. They need to age verify people. 16
they
and
literally
older,
do it.
16 and older should be the limit. 16 and older. That's it. Okay? Nothing lower than that.
I guarantee you that Twitch does that with everyone. I mean, that might be part of why there was an NDA, is because there's probably maybe Doc knows about even darker shit that another Twitch person did that's in DMs that Twitch knows about, and who knows? There's got to be some reason that they didn't basically turn that over to law enforcement and not have to cash out for shit and just boot him. There has to be a reason that went the way that it did. But no matter what,
Twitch held this for 7 years because the reason why they held this is because their employees, it was revealed they didn't like Dr. Disrespect, so they didn't reveal this information because they wanted to care for the victim.
You know why?
They did this because they wanted to get him because he was obviously maybe the biggest guy. They didn't like he was the biggest guy, and they literally went and looked at his personal messages. And keep in mind, you can't do that because that is a breach of privacy. No company can do that. Let's be honest here. Companies do. That's not just a Twitch thing, but they did. And they can't reveal that because if they reveal they're looking at your personal messages, they get in a lot of trouble for that. That is like actual serious shit you can get like mega sued for. You literally can't do that.
Well, if you're doing it on their platform, they technically kind of can. What they may
kind of
not be
agree
able
to
to
it.
do, if there's an agreement that these are private messages in like some sort of like software agreement that people generally have applied to them when they use the site. But there's probably some really dark shit that they've also covered up. And I can tell you right now why, because there is no age verification. And this happened on Twitch's platform. The reason it waited this long for somebody to come out and say it is because they're past the statute of limitations for both Doc and them, because they were probably going to be liable in a potential in a different kind of lawsuit. He may have ended up being criminally liable for something,
because
they may have been liable for providing the means with which a minor was communicating with an adult in a sexual way, and that probably would have had legal ramifications, be they criminal or civil, for Twitch. But now they're past the statute of limitations, so nothing will happen now. That's why it came out. And why does it bury Doc a bit? But he buried himself.
Yeah, because that's the thing, is even because so Vito was mentioning, but these guys should be like praising the person that leaked. First of all, that Whisper person leaked the information to potentially get more ticket sales on their band. They didn't leak the information out of a good intention for the person. Okay, that is very important to mention, because that means even when they revealed the information, it wasn't because they even cared about whoever went through this. They only did it for their own personal gain. Twitch is a terrible platform and a shit one at that. Do I stream on there? Yes, I do. It's another place to grow an audience, but I don't like the platform a lot. Okay, Dr. Disrespect. Yeah. Okay, so kind of what that situation reads is, okay, it'd be like, let's say you were divorced and your kid, and like, I don't know if you have a daughter, but let's say your daughter grew up, right? And she was like 18 or whatever, and she had like 18-year-old fucking friend, right? And like you were to hit on her, even though you didn't technically do anything to her, and she considers that creepy, is that okay though? That's the line that he kind of was going there. Yeah, I didn't really go that far with this person, but it got a little inappropriate. It's like, that doesn't make it okay though. That's a morality thing. Some people say if it didn't get to that other state, then it's okay. Yeah. I don't know how. I don't really buy that. I actually can't buy that. I think that's very bad.
No, he's the dumbass. He's a dumbass for doing it, especially if he was with his wife at the time. That's infidelity, and that's already him being a piece of shit. And we already know that he's been a piece of shit already. Yeah, he's already not a guy of high moral fortitude. And I only know him because I've seen shit about him. I think I've probably seen him on a stream once or twice, but I don't watch a lot of game streams, really. I watch the G&G guys play Mario Kart sometimes, because listening to Beardo be a shitty gamer is kind of funny. But I don't really watch a lot of game streams. I'll do a game stream, but I don't watch a lot of other people's game streams, really. I participate in one with Dermy Wormy on Saturdays. I we'll go into his Discord and we bullshit and chat. Like, everybody in there is mostly bullshitting and chatting while he kind of plays a game. There's like 3 conversations that'll go on in there. So
yeah, I don't watch game streams like I used to. I used to watch a bunch of like game streams when I was a bit younger. I mostly watch like podcasts now if I'm doing anything other than that. Because the only benefit of the doubt people try to give him was, did you know this person was underage? Because if you did know and you were still doing it, that's a problem, right? And it looks like he didn't. It looks like he kind of
didn't clarify that.
He did not clarify that. So yeah, but I also say this. Sneeko mentioned the fact that this 17-year-old girl, if this girl was like 1 month away from becoming 18, and she turned 18 and became an OnlyFans whore, then the industry would celebrate that as like slay queen, right? But now that this happened, they're like, she's an innocent victim. It's like that fucking hell. I'm not defending Dr. Disrespect, but like, the Western society is so disgusting. Where if just in a month after that, or like maybe a week till she turns 18, she'd make an OnlyFans account. Let's be honest here, these whores would do that. Because she's 25 now. She'd be celebrated if she did. But Twitch and all these people have such fucking double standards. And man, any of these e-thoughts going after Dr. Disrespect is so cringe. Stop. Yeah, he did a bad thing. Yeah. I agree he did a bad thing, and I'm not defending him, but you women have no right to be talking about moral superiority when you're basically selling sex to minors too. Stop it.
Yeah,
Like,
I
that's my
have.
that's my dual
I,
stance.
I don't look to OnlyFans whores for my questions about moral gray areas. And I'm not even saying that this is a moral gray area. In all honesty, I don't even care about any of their morals. They don't have any. If I can go on the
The last
internet
people
and
you
and
be like, bro,
yep,
really? You, the woman who
nah,
sells her ass and vagina on
yeah,
Twitch?
exactly. It's like,
You gonna
hey,
tell me what?
I can,
Fuck
yeah,
off.
I can go to Twitch and watch your ads for your 99-cent fucking butthole pics on OnlyFans. Like, nah, I quite literally, like, there's nothing you have to say that I care about, actually.
Yeah.
Like, I
I don't
mean,
give a
I
fuck
won't
what
even
these
be at a
thoughts
point
think.
where I need to know, like, how you light your butthole to get the picture that way. Like, even from a photography standpoint, I don't even need to talk to you because I'm never going to be in a position of needing to light a butthole in order to take a picture of it. Like, that's not my style of photography. So there's literally nothing I can get out of those women that I put any kind of value on at all, let alone their takes on morals.
Yeah. And like, I don't want to fucking hear like the lettuce, bacon, tomato people being like, well, when one of their people gets called out a pedophile, no one was defending him. Most people called out how sus that was about the minor shit.
Dude, it
I
was
don't want to
sus
hear
as
things.
fuck. That
I don't
whole
want to hear
scenario was
degenerate
fucking sus.
people who are like drag queens performing basically butt naked in front of kids, calling other people. No, stop it. I don't want to hear about like all these weird degenerate people, these troons and these no, not neither do you get to say anything because you people like to be naked in front of kids. No, nope. You don't get an opinion either. All you guys are trash.
Nope.
It's like the most. They have drag queens performing in front of kids, and these people want to talk about. Well, we always get kind of like labeled as pedos. Gee, I wonder why. You people like don't stop talking about. Oh, well, why? I don't know why they want to keep talking about their sexuality to
Yeah, you've
kids.
got fucking
It blows my
6-year-old
mind.
children at your fucking your
Drag
drag
queen
show where
shows.
you literally have
Yeah,
your fake bot chests out, like butt ass naked. You're doing like fucking fake coochie or
on
dong fucking
polls.
split
Yeah,
chests and poles and shit.
yeah.
Like, nah, no, you're gross.
Yeah,
That's gross.
don't talk about how you guys are looked down upon and like you get looked at as like child diddlers. First of all, there's a lot of information to be looked into that because it's true. But I'm just saying, let's not play like why you guys are being called those things because there's. I'm just saying if anyone does that, I'm sorry, you're gonna get looked at as a weirdo. Why are you performing naked in front of kids? That's disgusting and that's weird. Actually, it just is. You know. But yeah, like I'm pretty sure most people are just gonna disassociate from him because, like, I think what
Yeah,
really just does him
I
in
was
is the
never
individual.
into it anyways.
Me neither. You know, I mean, I'm glad we got some sort of resolution to this because some people ask like, well, how do you define inappropriate? Well, if it's ever revealed that he knew it was a minor and it went a little inappropriate, that's even worse. Actually, that's actually really bad. That means he knew what was going on and still did it. And no, it's just too sus for me. I
Yep,
gotta dip
the whole
out. Like this
scenario
other thing.
is
Yeah.
creepy and sus. It's also like, and I know we're gonna probably talk about this on Rogues Gallery, but I
Mhm.
don't have I was interested because the way it came out and the person who put it out was like fucking sus as shit. And I'm not saying that there isn't a lot of susness around it, but Doc
Yeah.
putting it out in his own language, like, bruh,
And then
bro,
editing out the parts 4 times, 5 times now. Now it says individual minor. Oh, oh, ah. And the quartering, Jeremy, why did you do this? Jeremy said firm handshakes. Jeremy! He deleted it later on, but it's like, dude, don't. People need to
I
stop
saw
doing
that.
that.
I saw
Yeah, yeah.
that.
Whenever big situations happen, I get it. He's job of social media. I understand. You don't have to comment instantly on something, dude. You could just not. You could just wait to think about how you feel about a situation before you comment. It happens, you know. Fuck. And quartering was fair. He was giving them the benefit of the doubt. He was fair, but like, you know, like people were like, here, fucking hell, because everyone was like, well, he's guilty. No. Let's because people thought that if you defended him before evidence came out, that you were defending him. It's like, no, I'm not gonna just condemn the guy if I don't know anything. Like, what?
Yep.
I wouldn't do that with anyone. The reason why I did that with Nick because everyone when the situation came up with
You
Nick
could see it.
Rotata, well, I kind of knew more bad things were going to happen. We saw it, and then people were basically like, "Well, you shouldn't talk about it because like that." And it's like, what?
Shit keeps coming out.
Yeah.
There's at least a party collecting evidence and putting out the evidence that has been found, or the evidence that's that's publicly available, because it's a matter of public record now that this shit happened. And so, yeah, the Nick thing we can actually comment on, because we actually have public records about this. The doc thing, we don't have shit. Ain't got shit from the fucking police department. Oh my God, don't trust the police. I'm like, yeah, well, you know what? If you believe that, then maybe you believe that Eric July is going to break into the house and cut your lines to the internet tonight while you're sleeping, like he did me the other night.
Yeah,
that's totally it's Eric July and the state of Minnesota and Joe Biden broke into Nick Rekieta's house and put coke everywhere and had coke parties with his 9-year-old child for months. It's totally how it happened. 100%.
I don't know how it came to people where it's like, oh, you're defending him. That means you're like, no, we're just saying innocent till proven guilty. The reason why I didn't do that with Nick is because I had this bad feeling he really wasn't innocent. And we knew he wasn't. We literally watched his streams in real time. We knew he wasn't.
Watch him.
Yeah, but this was a situation that happened in 2017, 2018, 2020. So, and then, court of public opinion and innocence and all that stuff. I would love if any of these weird freaks will go through anything and want the benefit of the doubt. And it's like, okay, now I'll just assume you're guilty because you didn't do it with this one, I'm just saying, wait a little bit to see the evidence and then make a decision after that. It's better to make a decision when you saw what his second post was now versus condemning. Because what if you condemned him and he didn't do anything and he didn't do what he said? Now you just look like a fucking piece of shit,
Yep.
But like, it's so weird because you see all these fucking Twitch thoughts being like, it's disgusting. And no, I agree with them. It's disgusting. But like,
it is. So is what they're doing.
Yeah, like, it's so weird. These hypocrites are just it's crazy. Oh my God.
Crazy.
These girls are like promoting Fansly and OnlyFans. Dude, at the Streamer Awards last year, their sponsor was Fansly, which is basically just a ghetto version of OnlyFans. That's their sponsor for the event.
You can get 50-cent butthole pics at Fansly. They're poorly shot, though. We fucking shot him with a webcam.
Okay, well, you didn't know me last you knew me last year. Before that, I did the Nightwing pod. No, I think we did a show about that. I think there was a show where this lady had a bad divorce from her husband, where she came home from working to ransack their house. She said she was taking a break. So then I found she was beefing with someone, and she's doing OnlyFans now. I think she even had a boob job too. I'm not even kidding. A person who couldn't get a job casting League of Legends or in that space in esports anymore ended up just doing OnlyFans now.
What they all do. They got to sell it while they got it. However,
she even said she has autism. I didn't know she had autism. I didn't know that, but I'm like, oh, that makes sense.
Who isn't running that grift these days?
Yeah, everyone. She does have some really big tits. She has some nice tits. I will give her that. They look really good.
There you go.
But yeah. Oh God, maybe she'll let me eat her butthole or something. I don't fucking know. Some degenerate. I tell Bill before. I don't even care if a girl does OnlyFans. I understand Bills don't give a fuck about your morals. I understand that. But I don't want to hear that girl then in the same vein go, well, why aren't men shit and all this other stuff? No. You have OnlyFans, shut the fuck up. And just make money and shut up. I don't hear your opinions about life shit. I understand. Bills are tough. I fully understand that. And bills got to get paid. But that woman ain't got no opinion to be like, well, why are men all this? And why can't I find a man? It's like, look at a damn mirror, you stupid hoe bag. What the hell is wrong with you? But yeah, guys, we're gonna wrap it up here. This is our only show for the night. It was fun. It was great. We had oh God, I can't believe that happened. Oh God. Oh, we're gonna get railed so hard. He's gonna be like, man, they're talking shit about me. Oh God, 1 minute. Oh, 1 minute, 30 seconds. So good.
That would be weird. He was here for barely a few minutes. He saw
barely a few seconds. Yeah.
Yeah, how much of a I don't know. Whatever, man. He do what he do, but I don't care. he ain't got nothing to go on there. So unless he's literally still lurking, and then what is he going to get from that? It's like, and whatever, man. I hope he does. Whatever. Hey, you know what? Then good. Maybe I'll get a few follows. I mean, people
Yeah,
can look at my
sure.
X and see what's going on. Yeah.
I'll
Send me
at the part we're talking.
the.
Yeah, if at the part where we're talking about Eric's company. Go ahead.
Yeah, do it, please. We were
We're not
probably
chills.
more. Yeah, definitely. And do the part where I don't have comic books too, where I don't read comic books at all. Never bought any before ever. But yeah, whatever, man. If he does, he does. But I doubt it. I don't think he cares that much. We're too tiny. And I know he does deal in very tiny things, but likes getting into tiny tiffs, and the tiniest things will set him off. But there ain't much here.
Yeah, Chloe.
He's not
Yeah,
going
he
to have
took
a lot
like
to
40
go from.
seconds. Yeah, it was like nothing.
Yeah,
I said
I
Rippaverse.
think you'll be fine there, MSK. And if not, then he brings a whole bunch of hate over, and you get a bunch of clicks and watches. And yeah, by all means, go drive content to my channel, because I'm not making anything right now. I not have any time for producing anything. So if people want to go watch my old content, by all means, check out Professor Savage Dad on Rumble. Get me some views over
Chloe,
there. Give me some watch hours on YouTube.
Yeah, and Chloe, you were here too. Everyone's here. We were very fair. We said things that we liked, we didn't like, what we thought could be improved on. Because he thinks that we're like he thinks we're like people that really bad for Eric every day, and it's like, no, I like what Renown does. Renown is a great person. He's an awesome friend to me. But I criticize things differently. Renown criticizes things differently. We're not the same, obviously. He probably thought he was going to get like the way Renown Zero does his streams, and it's like, no, we're different people and we just have different opinions.
Yep,
that's it.
Same with Student of God. Same with Hail the Lore.
Yeah,
like all these guys. These are.
But you know why people here can come and like each other? Because even though we might have different ways of doing things, we're not assholes to each other. We're like, okay, that person's think that's cool. No, that's awesome. That's it.
This is more like This is more like a chat at the comic shop used to be back in the day.
Yeah.
Not this online fucking blood sport gay ops bullshit. It's just we're talking about fucking comics. That's it. That's all it is. I don't. I'm a consumer. I don't have a dog or a pony in this race at all. I only have interest in the medium of comics and talking about it. That's it. I'm not a creator. I'm not trying to make any money off of this. I'm spending money on this. So I don't have the perspective of coming at this from a creative standpoint, of a perspective of a consumer and a critic of the things with which I consume. And I'm allowed to criticize them. I bought them. I can do it all day long, and I will.
I mean, yeah.
Yep. And I'll do the same when I get John's book next week, when Godlike shows up for me. I'll do the same when I get probably not next week, but it ships next week when Ghost of the Badlands show up. That one's been a very stretched out thing. I know that some people have reviewed it, but I've been avoiding it like the fucking plague, because I've been looking forward to that fucking book since he announced it like over a year ago. I love Razor Fist stuff. I love George Alexopoulos'
Do you know Mike S. Miller?
Work.
He said he went through the book and it was similar to what we thought, that the bad part of Yaira with the info dumping was too much.
What, and Ghost of the Badlands?
No, and Godlike. The same thing Cam said too. Yeah.
We'll see.
Everyone's experience is different. Yeah, everyone's experience is different. Next time John does that, I'll grab Godlike. I mean, I'm not a fan of waiting, but I really don't want to wait for stuff like that. It's but whatever. I'll check it out. I'm not grabbing Shane stuff. Fuck that. Fuck that guy. He's a piece of shit. No,
given the way,
I'd rather grab Ethan's stuff than grab his. Because, at least Ethan, regardless of what people may think about, at least he's going crazy in his own way, in his own weird fucked up way. Shane is just following that. Shane's not even doing anything on his own. He's just a follower. I can respect, even if I don't like what someone's doing, I can respect that they're doing it in their own way, even though it's mentally ill is what he's doing. Shane is just a follower. I hate that. That I hate it more, because you're just an NPC.
Oh.
And that John, I'll give John credit. He did call Riley mentally ill. Fair enough.
John is his own guy, and he doesn't deal in the gay ops as much. At least I don't see it.
I didn't see. Yeah,
it's fine.
So I got a new follower on. Got a new follower on Rumble. Actually, is a painting guy. What the? Oh, okay. He makes paintings. That's cool. How many followers do I have on Rumble now? 294. So we're at 6 followers away from hitting 300. That's kind of cool.
There you go.
Cool. All right, everyone. I forgot you're on your hiatus for a little bit, so well, that means we'll see you back here on Sunday. Yep. And Sunday, guys, finally, I promised Purser Habitat I will do this. I promise. We're gonna review Deadpool and Wolverine, World War III, issue number 1. We'll review that. Then on Wednesday coming up, we'll do issue 2, and then when issue 3 drops, then we'll review issue 3. And then he wanted me to review Void Rivals, so I'll pick up the Void Rivals trade paperback. I should have just got it yesterday. I was at Barnes and Nobles, but I fucking forgot. I was like, "Wait, I saw that."
I gotta finish this, and I gotta get my oldest son owes me a book report, so I'm trying to encourage him to read this.
Tell him to read. Did you get him the new Sonic Spring one shot from IDW? They released a Sonic Spring one shot he could do a book report on. It's Sonic. Doesn't he like Sonic actually?
No, that's my second son, and he does like Sonic, but he's a little young for summer book reports. My 13-year-old is just a pain in the ass who needs to do book reports this summer because I've done things.
I can't wait till he gets older and he's like, man, those books that my dad tried to push on me were fucking amazing. He's gonna have like a big old giant collection too. I thought getting books when I was young, man, I was a fucking loser nerd. Now I just, well, you guys know the history of this at this point. Yeah, but I've been having so much fucking sex, like the chadness. Saw some big titties. I saw some big titties today, and I was like, you know what? Now my day is good. Jen and Sylvie, they liked my fan theory about
science.
Brian and Yaira. So I just put out the fact that
Brian,
Yaira had her tongue in his mouth. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I got the vibe that those two smashed. So
wasn't it revealed that he's the only person that was able to like fight her in combat and defeat her? It's probably also why she runs from him, is because she knows she's gonna get that ass beaten in 2 different ways.
Yep.
Gosh, man.
Booty's clapping, literally.
But yes, thank you guys for checking out this episode of the Iron Man Podcast, Cloud9 Podcast VOD. Uploaded to Rumble. New episodes of the Iron Man podcast are going to be uploaded to the podcasting platforms. And if you do happen to watch and listen to the shows on the podcasting platforms, thank you so much for your support. I know I might be a little bit behind on uploading some of the episodes sometimes, but they are coming out. I'm doing my best to get stuff out. I'm going to be trying to get more content that we've already done clipped out for you guys. It might be a little bit older, just a little bit, but it's still great content you guys would want to see. Actually, gonna get the YuGiOh channel going very soon, and gonna get the gaming channel started up very soon and have that going. So yeah, the next thing to expect a review from is the stuff that we already did. So I'm gonna put our Screecher review out, then I'll do the Remnant review, then Screecher 2, and then you guys will see a review of this when I just flip through the pages and show people what's going on. And then we will be doing, keep in mind, if you're a Deadpool Wolverine fan, coming up before the movie, this week coming up, Sunday, Deadpool and Wolverine World War III, issue number 1 review. Then we're going to do issue 2, and then issue 3 drops. So yeah, and then Professor Savage Dad it'll be his turn. And the only reason why I chose this because he said he likes Deadpool, and this is only going to be 3 issues anyway. And by the time we would get by the time we'd even get the trade, it's like we could have already had this done anyway, so it doesn't matter honestly. So yeah,
not that much.
That looks really cool, honestly.
I got a sword too. So I may actually get some quick videos if I find time, or if I need a break from the shit I've been working on and will continue to be working on. I have a video I'm going to put together of this because I have content already filmed for it, and a video for a sword that I also have content already filmed for. So it's just a matter of me slapping some edits together really quick and putting something out. So I might put those up on the 3D print channel when the Deadpool movie drops. That's the only thing I may do, simply because the movie's going to drop and I'm going to use it to get clicks and likes from the algorithm. So
on Sunday, since we'll be talking about Marvel, we'll talk about Marvel heading back to San Diego Comic-Con this year, and apparently I have a lot of announcements actually.
Oh wow. I mean, cool, they're going back.
Hope they have some good shit to show. Again, can't wait to see Captain America 4 footage, right, Kevin Feige? Can't wait to see.
It's going to be all about. Captain Black Falcon. That's what it's going to be about. Super exciting.
Oh,
can't wait to not pay attention to it. But yeah.
All right. See you guys later. And thank you guys for checking out this episode of the Iron Man podcast. And we'll see you guys in the next.